So last night after Blake joined us at the end of Fast and the Furious last night.
Yeah.
So at Hobbs and Shaw, pretty much he joined and I forgot what happened. Blake
So,
triggered my momentary blackout last night.
so you only watched Hobbs and Shaw?
No, we watched
all the
8
other
and
ones?
Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, okay.
This was the final Fast Friday until next
Oh.
year.
Well, you could keep it going with like a couple other just like
We had
wild
Fast
action
adjacent movies. Like we had like Bullet and Ford versus Ferrari and all that, and we watched Need for Speed.
Mhm.
So in there we don't have like a scheduled thing for March, so
Well,
we'll probably just let it bleed over.
yeah, or just like action movie March or like
We keep trying to go for alliteration, so I think March is just kind of
okay.
more Fast February March.
I was going to say Murder March. You could watch like all like hard-boiled detective murder mysteries.
Bonus points if there's a car scene.
You could do like Metropolis March and do like all the Superman movies and Fritz Lang's Metropolis and Osamu Tezuka's Metropolis.
What we're gonna do, what someone is doing,
all the Superman movies and then 3 art house movies that happen to be called Metropolis. That's what I want. That's the one I would join you for. I'd be like, Superman and art house. I'm fucking in.
Yeah. Well, the movies are mostly like we're gonna talk over these, so
Yeah.
it's
Probably
art
not-
house would
probably
really
not
work.
Art House.
Yeah. So in May, someone is organizing Marvel May.
Marvel May. There's too
Yeah.
many.
It's not just gonna be just Fridays. They're just gonna watch them like on Thursdays and Fridays. I don't know if they're still gonna do it though, because they seem like the type to not commit.
There's
to
like
that.
25.
25. You'd have to watch if you do Thursdays and Fridays. What do you got? Like
Let's say
12 days
movies.
to-
2 movies, right?
10 if you have 10 days to work with, you have to watch 2 movies like every day, like each of those days.
Yep.
And on
some
some
extra.
days you're gonna have to watch extras. So it'll probably like you gotta throw Captain America in a triple night because Captain America is only an hour and a half.
Yeah, the first one you mean?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like you're gonna have to figure out like the timing. Like I think Ant-Man's also pretty short.
Yeah. But like or you could say skip Iron Man 2, skip Thor 2. Like I'm just trying to think like
Skip Iron Man 3.
Iron
I'd
Man
rather
3
watch
is not
Iron
that
Man
bad.
2 than
I'd
Iron
rather
Man
watch 3 than 2. 3 is a way better movie than 2.
What is the total runtime of all? Okay, so Iron Man is just over 2 hours. Iron Man 2 also just over. Oh, Captain America is also an hour, like just over 2 hours. I thought it was shorter. It's probably because that movie drags at parts.
I really like the first Captain America. It's got such a slick visual style to it that Joe Johnson brings.
Thor: The Dark World has a runtime of too many minutes.
Too many minutes.
112.
Oh, that's less than 2 hours though.
It is, but that's still too much. That movie
It's still
sucks.
more of Thor: The Dark World than I'd want to watch.
Yeah. Thor: The Dark World was the one I fell asleep during it like 3 times.
Except Ian, it's the most important movie for
I
Endgame.
know, which sucks. It's so boring. I would say watch up to the point where like Loki fake kills himself and then stop watching the movie. Just be
Well,
like, Thor figures it out. That's all.
No. What you do is you skip most of the scenes. You skip almost all the scenes that Christopher Eccleston's in, except for the one that explains what the Aether is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then you watch the scene where like obviously Frigga dies. You watch the scenes where Loki's in jail.
You watch the scene where they get Loki out of jail.
Yeah, that stuff. And you watch where Loki fakes his death.
You skip every part that takes place in the real world.
Yeah. Yeah, because they decided to
Here's
give
the one scene.
They decided to give the comedic sidekick their own comedic sidekick in that fucking movie.
You gotta watch,
and I love Darcy. Don't get me wrong, but
you gotta watch just the scene where they're fucking around with the portal, and the comedic sidekick throws in the car keys like a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that joke's. I forgot about that joke. That's actually really funny.
Yeah. Have you been on TikTok recently?
I have been on TikTok recently.
Have you seen the Jimmy Woo-niverse?
I have, and I think it's like a little bit insulting that
Why?
they're not just saying it's Randall Park.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Jimmy Woo.
You're
right.
right.
All right, guys, come on.
But the fact is,
because everybody used to see him in shit and be like, "Oh, it's John Krasinski."
That was one of my favorite jokes. Actually, I saw it where there's some movie has Randall Park and John Krasinski next to each other, and someone was like, "Whoa, two Jimmy Woos."
Okay, doing it in reverse where John Krasinski is Randall
It's
Park.
much funnier.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
But when they're like, two John Krasinskis, I'm like, fuck you. But that's because I love Randall Park and I wish John Krasinski was in a horrible car crash.
Come on. Don't be mean
Welcome
to him.
to the Media Hole Podcast.
You really want Emily Blunt to be widowed?
No, I didn't say he should die in the car crash. I just want him to be in one. It. Yeah.
Yeah. But what was it? Also, Randall Park is in like an Eminem music video.
He is.
Yeah, he's just like, the man is.
He's actually a decent rapper.
Yeah, but like, the guy's been has had to work. Like that's.
Yeah. Oh, he's a working actor for sure. Like more than a lot of other people. But and that's why I hope he gets to do his like Jimmy Woo Agents of Atlas show where he gets to be the Nick Fury of an all Asian superhero team. That'd be sick.
That would be cool. Jimmy Woo just being a character from now on would be great. Yeah.
Like I'd watch him and Darcy X-Files show.
One of the worst Iron Man movies though.
Ant-Man.
Fuck Ant-Man. One of the worst Marvel movies.
Yeah. Ant-Man 2 is, I think, better than the first Ant-Man.
Ant-Man 2 is more entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Media Hole Podcast. We're a weekly podcast. We'd like to talk about movies.
Where we talk about Jimmy Woo.
Comic books and Jimmy Woo, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Nathan, and I'm joined as always by my co-host Ian. It's episode 70.
Yeah, it's no longer fun.
Yeah,
we gotta wait like 350 episodes now until we can be like, woo!
Here is my question I pose to you for what I assume will be 6 years from now when we do episode 420.
I think it's 8 years. Oh, it's 7 years.
Okay. Do you think we should pretend to be high? Oh, I was gonna say pretend because I can't smoke.
Why?
It's bad.
Edibles.
No, like not smoke. Like when I do,
you can't.
Like I've had to stop drinking coffee because my anxiety. Like it's been, I'm doing good overall. It's just for some reason certain things will trigger it, and I get fucked up.
It's for like a second of like a week or so ago, I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should start drinking coffee. And I'm like, actually, no, I don't want to. Because people who drink coffee are the worst.
I don't know. I can't drink coffee anymore, but I like coffee. I think it tastes good. Like, I miss it.
Yeah. Well, you could have like tea. Would that do the same thing to you?
Yeah, I like tea. But tea doesn't taste anything like coffee. Like it's completely different.
Respectable.
Yeah, I do drink tea still because that has like a small amount of caffeine usually. But yeah, so let's get right in. We're gonna. Oh wait, right before we get into our news segment that we do every week, we mentioned it last week, but we are going to do a Yakuza 7 / Yakuza Like a Dragon spoiler cast. These episodes go on Monday. On Wednesday, it'll go up as a separate pod.
Yeah, where we talk about how the game made us cry.
Yeah. Well, actually, it didn't for me, but
wow.
It's still very good.
You're a cold-blooded son of a bitch. There's at least, I won't say anything for the end, but there's a part in like chapter, I think, 13?
13, 14?
The one that takes place like in the park.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big sad one in my opinion.
That was, but I kind of like. We don't need to talk about it yet. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But yeah, let's talk about some news, baby.
Yeah.
So, first piece of news. Early this week, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remaster is getting remastered. And by that I mean it's getting a ports and an upgrade. So it's coming to the Switch later 2021, and it's coming to next-gen consoles, PS5, and whatever Xbox wants to call itself. On March 26th. If you bought the game on last gen, the next gen upgrade is $10. I don't know if it's $10 Canadian or American. Probably be like $80 Canadian because we get fucked over all the time. But it's free. It's free if you have the digital deluxe edition.
It fucking should be, considering there's no DLC for that game, and also there's no reason to buy the digital deluxe edition.
Well, the digital deluxe edition, just had like different outfits and soundtrack stuff. But yeah, so you paid $10 extra, so it's like, might as well give you the $10 extra thing. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I loved that game. It is my game of 2020 that I put the most hours into. Like, I think I have like 120 hours in that fucking video game.
You would, pussy.
What do you mean I would?
You know what I'm talking about.
What, put 120 hours in?
Nothing. Doesn't matter. Don't ignore what I just said.
Okay.
Oh, I own the deluxe edition. I didn't know that. Oh, you know what the deluxe edition came with? It came with the old school looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. Look at that. You did
so
it. You
whatever
get it for
new
free.
Whatever new content comes out on the PC version, I'll get for free.
Oh right, you bought it on PC.
Yeah.
Then
you buy everything on PC.
You're gonna get nothing, dude.
I know. Well, I know.
It doesn't.
Also, it doesn't matter because my graphics card can't do ray tracing. So even if they put like ray tracing shit in there, I still can't do it.
Oh, it's just like you can play it at 4K 60 or 1080p 120, and I'm like,
neither of my monitors can do that.
I was gonna say like my TV, it's gonna be nothing.
Yeah, my fucking. All of it. I don't know. Like my monitors are old. They're just 1080p shit. Like I have like 60 hertz. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, this week we learned a lot about remasters and upgrades.
We learned a lot about ports last week. Now this week it was about remasters.
At least this is this is upgrade. The last week it was a side.
It was just like we fucking threw it over there.
Yeah.
But.
It's slightly worse, but you can fucking pick it up and play it in your hand.
You know what's
counts or something.
You know what's glad that we didn't get an upgrade for?
Anthem.
Because the evil is finally defeated. Anthem 2.0 or Anthem Next is officially canceled.
Yep.
The evil is defeated. There is another piece of good news about this that I didn't write down.
Is that this led them to make sure that Dragon Age 4 isn't going to be a game as a service game?
Dragon Age was supposed to be a games as a service game, and EA has now gone, you know what? We think that you guys were wrong about Anthem, like you as BioWare. So us at EA, we're going to order you to not make that a games as a service game.
Yeah.
So Dragon Age 4 will be just Dragon Age. Gonna go back to how it used to be.
And I hope that means it's gonna be a good game. But who knows? Because that company's lost like half of all the fucking people that made good shit there. Not that people who work there aren't talented, but just that, it's a fucked up place. Other news. In Spider-Man 3, they did a whole bit this week. You remember that?
Yeah, it was so funny.
Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Jacob Batalon, the stars of the film, shared images this week claiming the subtitle of the film as being Phone Home, Home Slice, or Home Wrecker, respectively. But then the true title was revealed in a little video and it's shown to be No Way Home. And they announced that it's going to come out Christmas 2021, only in theaters. So if you're starved for Marvel content in between, because I know that's a long time, You'll have to make do with WandaVision now, Falcon and Winter Soldier, 6 episodes in March, Black Widow releasing theatrically in May, Loki starting in June, The Eternals in September, and potentially Hawkeye and What If coming later this year. So you'll have to like, I know Christmas is a long way, so you have to make do with only that.
Wait, this Christmas this year?
Yeah.
That's so close. That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's not like, imagine being a fan of video games. That's the real waiting game.
Well, Ian, yeah, that's what I mean. You're waiting for Spider-Man. You only have these few things to tide you over between now and Spider-Man. You only have 7 things.
Yeah, we only have a 9-episode TV show. What's the other thing? Like a
9-episode TV show, a 6-episode TV show, a movie, another 9-episode TV show, another movie, another 2 TV shows that we don't know how many episodes, and then Spider-Man in December.
This is definitely the most Marvel-filled year.
Yeah, well, because
since that year where they put like 3 movies out and everyone hated all of them.
They haven't done that.
I swear there was a year where
they've only had 3 years with 3 Marvel movies, and those were Spider-Man, Guardians 2, Thor, and then there was 2018.
Thor 3?
Thor Ragnarok. And then there's 2018,
those are all good.
Then there's 2018, which was Black Panther, and Infinity War, and Ant-Man 2, which 2 of those are good movies. And then there was 2019, which was Captain Marvel.
Are you going to say Infinity War wasn't good?
No, I was saying Ant-Man wasn't good.
Okay.
Yeah, so then 2019 was Captain Marvel, Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
So none of the years they've put out 3 have they all been bad.
You're right.
Yep.
But they always have one stinker in there.
Yeah. Which one do you think is the stinker this year? Black Widow, Eternals, or Spider-Man, or Loki, or Falcon and Winter Soldier, or WandaVision?
I don't want it to be any of them.
Yeah. I think they're all going to be pretty good. I mean, every Marvel movie's pretty good, at least recent memory.
They're manufactured to be good. It's like that's what we get. Yeah.
So then next piece of news.
You know what else we're supposed to get?
What?
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Is that coming this year? I thought
there was 4 movies this year.
4 movies and potentially 5 TV shows.
Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home. And we also have 4 movies next year.
Holy fucking shit.
Doctor Strange, Thor Love and Thunder, Black Panther 2, don't know how they're going to handle that, and Captain Marvel 2. Also, tentatively, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, you mean Quantumania?
Yeah, that also has a 2022 release date, just not an official date.
Man,
that's too much. That is too many movies.
Here's the thing. I say it every fucking podcast because it's a point that needs to be made. I love Marvel movies. I love Marvel comics. I really enjoy pretty much all of them significantly. Yet the people who say that they're ruining the fucking industry are absolutely correct. How do you release 8 fucking blockbuster pieces of media in a year and then expect people to see anything else?
Yeah.
This
is 4 movies.
Right, and that doesn't
think about the TV shows they could throw at us as well.
4 movies, and again, we got fucking WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, potentially the animated What If, and potentially Hawkeye, all coming out this year.
Yeah.
Right? And fuck, the Suicide Squad's coming out this year. There's another season of fucking Harley Quinn. There's so many.
Season?
Yeah. That's coming later this year. There's so many blockbusters in a year.
Awkwafina's in Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah, she is. Yeah. She's great.
Yeah. Wow, there's a lot of.
Anyway, if you want me to stop criticizing Marvel while loving Marvel, pay us fucking money, Marvel, and I will only suck your dick.
Put less movies out.
Just pay me.
That too. But make 2 good movies a year. That's all we need.
2 a year. I don't think anyone was complaining when we got just Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Guardians 1 in the same year, and we were like, wow, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because those were 2 good movies.
They were 2 good movies, and
then 2015 we got 2 stinkers. Age of Ultron and Ant-Man.
Age of Ultron has good parts.
So yeah, but I can say Ant-Man has good parts too.
Luis.
Yes, that's the good parts. Who else? It's Luis and his two buddies. It's
and I like Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah, it's Paul Rudd is pretty weak in that one.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck else?
He's better in the other ones. Yeah,
he's better in everything else he's in. Paul Rudd is.
Let's not talk about Marvel again until the end of the podcast when we have to talk about the current Marvel.
Yeah.
So next piece of news: Henry Cavill.
Yeah. What if? I know the Witcher TV show is actually based off of the books, but still, it's like it's based off of the book stories, but they use the design from the game, so it's a game show. So Henry Cavill is in a Mass Effect thing, apparently, allegedly, because people looked at the he like blurred out the script. Not good enough though, because the people who are able to find the word Reapers and Cerberus. Which Reapers, it's like, it could be anything else. But Cerberus is pretty much... Oh, wait, no, that's also a thing.
Lots of other stuff, yeah.
There's a bunch of words. I think they found Saren as well.
Okay.
And
so is he playing Commander Shepard, do you think?
No, I'd rather have him play Commander Shepard than the other thing I saw, which was Henry Cavill will play Rex. And Commander Shepard is Stephen Amell.
Oh...
Yeah, from Arrow.
I mean, Stephen Amell looks more like the video game character.
But also, it's like, I get it that Commander Shepard is kind of bland.
He's also much less famous.
Yeah, but...
And therefore, I don't think he would be the protagonist.
No. It also might have been a movie thing. I don't know. It's still up for speculation.
Who knows what kind of project it is?
Yeah. I would hope that it would be a TV series of a sort, because I don't want to see Mass Effect 1 just adapted into an hour-and-a-half movie. Because that would be bad.
Yeah.
Because it would be like, it would be the part that happens at the beginning of the game on that human colony, where you find out Saren's bad. That scene in the Citadel... And then it would instantly go to, like, Vermeer, where you lose Caden or Ashley. It's going to be Caden because everyone likes Ashley. Because they want to fuck Ashley. And no one, not even the women who played that game, would like, ooh, Caden. So, and then it would be like the final Citadel thing. They cut out too much shit, is what I'm saying. And Mass Effect is a long fucking game.
Yeah, and games are kind of closer to TV shows than movies.
That's why The Last of Us it's a TV show, right?
Show.
Yeah, because if you cut out some scenes from The Last of Us, you're literally losing so much.
Yeah, because Last of Us, what's great about Last of Us 1 is that it's like, it is almost phrased like a TV show. It's a lot of disconnected episodes more than it is one overarching story.
Yeah, it's like two characters just like going and visiting people.
Yeah. And it could be, and that's why you could come up with, like, stuff. They have to cross the entirety of America, so you could just write episodes.
Going and visiting people that just fucking hate Joel. They're like, God, you again?
But you could just write a bunch of episodes where they're like, new things happen. They fucking come across even more people, right?
Yeah. Also, there's, like, Mass Effect, because when you first get, like, once you're in the Citadel, you hook up with your entire team, you recruit Garrus and Rex and all them. And then go to recruit. You get the option to go to 3 different planets, and each of those is like its own little episodic story. But it's
so
like, you have to do all of them to move forward, and you can do them in any order. But they have to be done. But if you just cut that out with a movie, it's like, how did Liara just get here?
Yeah, I think you're right. I hope it's a TV show, and then I hope it's good. But yeah, I don't but also I don't really need this at all. It could just also not exist, and I'd be fine.
Mass Effect just exists. It's like the Last of Us TV show doesn't have to exist, in my opinion. Like, you don't need to make games. You don't need to directly adapt stories from games into TV shows. You could take the other source material that no one's seen before, like there's Mass Effect books that have characters.
I wouldn't adapt the books because I just wouldn't want to read them. But if it was me making the show, what I would want to do is do a side story that like explores that universe with it while still being canon.
What if you did it like how the Star Wars guys do it, where they just take a slice of something and go, "Oh, this is mine now."
Yeah.
Thrawn? Nah, I created him. He's me. He's mine.
Yeah, like
I didn't read those books. I just took the character. What is he? Cold calculating admiral? Yep. What else has he done? Who cares? I'm going to come up with it by myself.
Yeah, this person was canon in the old canon, and now I'm going to redo it and do it in my way that I want to do it.
And now they're like a character that was the main villain of Rebels towards the end, and is also the main villain of Bo-Katan's side fucking project. Oh no, Asuka Tano, not Bo-Katan.
Oh.
Asuka Tano goes to beat up that lady in like episode 6 of season 2. Sorry, wait.
Hold on.
You haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I think episode 5, 4, 6, one of them was my next one.
Well, like Asuka Tano was trying to get information from someone, and it turns out the information is where is Admiral Thrawn.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But in other Henry Cavill adjacent news, Warner Brothers has announced that they are working on a Superman reboot.
So like,
yeah,
a new like Henry Cavill's out, sort of like Superman.
So there's a lot of info kind of up in the air. So some people have said Henry Cavill really wants to come back. Some people are saying it's gonna not be him. What I can say is that the movie's going to be produced but not directed by J.J. Abrams.
Okay.
And it's going to be written by Ta-Nehisi Coates, I believe is how you say the guy's name.
I have no idea who that is.
If you haven't heard of him, he's a very famous like essayist and journalist who's also done like comic book writing. He did the run of Black Panther that most inspired the movie. And then he did a run on Captain America as well. That was also like, he's an expressly like political essayist, so he's very political. And this Superman movie is probably going to be pretty close to what I have been yelling about, which is like Superman is fucking awesome, and you can use him to talk about anything. But yeah, so like, but he also might be allegedly trying to get it to be a black Superman, which would also be cool. And I would live to see all of the fucking losers mad. Like,
yeah, I know one guy who will be.
He's an alien.
Me? No, I'm kidding. Well, actually, yeah, he's an alien, so it doesn't really matter what race he is. But I think would he crash land to Earth and have him would he be raised by black parents then, or would it just be like, oh, it's still Martha? And
I think you could do Jonathan and Martha.
Jonathan, I almost said Thomas, but that's a Wayne.
No, that's Thomas and Martha.
Yeah, that's the other Martha's husband.
But no.
Yeah. I think it would be better if it was like he landed and there was 2 white parents, because if it was 2 black parents, it's like, well, of course, because you also imply if it was 2 white parents, they'd just be like, ew, a black baby.
I don't know. I think you could kind of go either way. You could do traditional Jonathan and Martha, or you could have them be black. Maybe they wouldn't even be farmers. Who knows, right?
Yeah, maybe they were just people who lived in the countryside, but they worked. Yeah. They did something else. Like,
I mean, I think you'd have to keep Smallville, but you could change the farmer thing.
Well, yeah, I'm saying they still live just out in the middle of fucking nowhere outside of Smallville, but like they're not farmers. It's just that they like to live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they were actually
maybe he's a carpenter now.
Yeah, maybe. I think they were trying to do something similar to that a couple years ago when they were trying to say that they wanted Michael B. Jordan to take a shot at Superman, but the project
I saw fucking Brian Altano who was like, I just don't think Michael B. Jordan's nerdy enough. And it's like, Superman doesn't have to look nerdy. He's not like Peter Parker. Like, Superman's jacked. He like, it's the thing. What was the guy? Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
The way he did it, where like when he was like, when he like had like a stance change when he was being Superman versus being Clark Kent. When he was Clark Kent, he was like, oh, it's me, Clark Kent. I'm a fucking nerd. But then it's like Superman. He's like, oh, let me just straighten up now.
Chris Reeve is like at the time he was like a big, like he was like bodybuilder.
He was hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like Superman is hot. It's just that he's humble.
Yeah, but when he's like Clark Kent, obviously he has to look different, and you can do that with costuming and makeup and hair and acting and posture. Although Michael B. Jordan is maybe too hot. Now that I think about it, I'm trying to see him with glasses on, and I'm like, no, he's still sexy.
Yeah, but I would say fucking Henry Cavill, I guess if he does glasses on is still sexy.
Yeah, well, and what great Superman movies has he been in?
0. But that's not his fault. That is not Henry Cavill's fault. I will not be mean to that man.
No. If I ever had him on an interview, I think my first question would be, so what was it like being the only person on set who understood Superman as a character?
Because honestly, Henry Cavill, like in his normal day-to-day life, is kind of like Clark Kent. He's like, yeah, I'm jacked. I love to work out, but also I'm going to go play World of Warcraft.
Yeah. I like him a lot. I still think he's my third fave, behind Reeve and Routh even though Superman Returns isn't a good movie and it's made by a piece of shit. But he's, Brandon Routh is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, if this does happen and it's a political smart Superman that's like well done and has him being like the vision of hope that he's supposed to be, I'm down. If it's still Henry Cavill, I'm down. If it's somebody else, I'm down. If it's someone black, I'm down. If it's someone not, I am here for this. I think this script will turn out pretty cool.
Yeah.
It just depends, obviously, who they get to direct it. But yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. The thing that J.J. Abrams is like actually directing, I'm more worried for, because that's Justice League Dark, and that's going to be like Constantine, Zatanna. Who else is on the Justice League Dark other than Constantine and Zatanna? I don't remember. But, if J.J. Abrams fucks that up, it's going to be annoying.
Yeah, but J.J. Abrams could do stuff. He just wasn't good with Star Wars. If he has full control over like a whole like series instead of being like, I'll direct one and then you guys do the rest of the work.
No, well, J.J. Abrams had full control over those 2 Star Treks he did, and they weren't very good.
Well, I don't know.
Well, they were entertaining, but they weren't good at being Star Trek.
Yeah, sure.
And also,
because they were more like battle focused, and like that's not really what Star Trek is.
No, it's like about
they get in fights, but it's like they're supposed to be diplomats and scientists.
And like also, Star Trek is basically about like a communist utopia.
Sure.
Like all of Earth has become one nation, and they've abolished money. Like
for the social credit system.
Do they have a social credit system?
I have no idea. But like you need to be able to because greed is inherent in all human beings. Don't at me. So like you have to have some sort of upper limit of what you can like acquire, because if you just can have everything, you're just going to take too much, and then it will be wasteful. Like you can try and teach it out of people, but there will always be that one guy who's like, "What do you mean I can only have one steak? I want 12." And then like 12 people behind him were like, "Those were ours too."
I mean, you could just have it be regimented.
But whatever. I want that lab-grown meat. Let's get that going.
Yeah, or you could just have like...
Actually, I feel like that's just kind of fucked up.
Wait, no, they have fucking matter replicators, dude. They have unlimited everything.
No, I know, but I'm talking about where we are as a society right now. I'm just every single time I see something where it's like, oh yeah, it's fucked up to clone one animal and kill them all the time. But what if we took an animal we already killed and just cloned that portion of the animal? I'm like, I'll eat the same steak for the rest of my life.
I guess.
Or there's like a black market food thing where it's like, yeah, so we actually are killing cows. What do you mean? You killing that one cow? No, we're killing random cows.
We've found.
What about chickens? Look at how fucking huge this one fucking chicken is. This is 48 weeks old, and we're gonna cut its head off.
Ooh, fuck. Yeah, that's like a cyberpunk rich guy thing, maybe. It's kind of like in 2150
in the Nomad opening of fucking Cyberpunk 2077. It's like, what are we carrying? Oh, just a real iguana because they're extinct.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Nomad is the best opening. I've done all of them now. Street Kid is bland. Corpo is just like, you think it would be something like, oh, it radicalizes you. It's corporations. It's literally like you get fired, and then you're just like, oh, whatever. This just sucks. And then Nomad is just like, oh, I hate you. I hate all of this. I was born outside of the city, but my tribe is a bunch of shitheads, so I left. Yeah. Then you go and join the Aldecados, the much cooler tribe with the hotter people.
Yeah. I mean, I told you the Nomad one's cool. You get your own little open world for a bit.
Yeah. You also get to drive your car, and you can go get it back from Alana Pierce, but you can also just give it to her.
I didn't give it to her. I bought it back from her.
But by the time I got to where she was, I had much better vehicles, and I'm like, I don't care. Get out of here.
But okay, when I did, I had like 2 vehicles, and I was like, well, I could use a third because the motorcycle's annoying and the starting car sucks.
Yeah, the starting car does suck. I had the starting car. I got what's his face's motorcycle. I got 2 motorcycles.
Yeah, I've got 2 motorcycles.
Because you get the one from the You get the one from
Scorpion? The other Nomads. Yeah, Scorpion.
Yeah, yeah, and you can also get Jackie's fucking bike. Then you can also get like a super fast car from a super ugly car for one of the punching missions, one of the boxing matches.
Ooh, I love a super ugly car.
Then there's a super fast one you can get for free. I can't remember where. And then you can also get Johnny's car later on, his Porsche 911.
Ooh. Love the product placement.
Yeah, there's a guy you have to you meet up with. It's one of the guys Johnny used to run with, and you meet up with him. This is also how you get Johnny's gun, like the pistol as well. Yeah. And you beat the guy up, and there's an option. It's like you can either kill him or he'll tell you where you can get the car. But you can still just fucking kill him and get the car anyways. It just doesn't give you a waypoint for where it is.
Oh, but it still spawns it.
Yeah.
So you just have to look it up.
No, it's right next to where you kill the guy. You grab a key card and you have to find a computer which is up a ladder, and then you open it and then it drops the crate and you go in and the Porsche is there. And then also gives you a fun little line of dialogue where you can where if you go your next mission you go on a date in quotations with Rogue. And if you drive Johnny's car, she has a little dialogue where she's like, I haven't seen this piece of shit in so long. In 50 years.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So the next piece of news, there was a Sony State of Play this week, Thursday, February 25, which was kind of lame mostly, unfortunately.
I disagree. I think it was just fine.
It's kind of lame mostly, I'll say. Because so let me just go over everything. So Crash got a PS5 upgrade.
Whoa, free one.
Which was a shitty opening thing. Is it free? I thought they said that there was an upgrade, but they didn't say if it was free.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just assuming. I'm assuming right now it doesn't say a price free.
Okay. So then there was release date updates for Kena, which looks great. Solar Ash, which looks great.
Great.
Deathloop.
Deathloop really didn't need this trailer. We already knew the game. We already knew the game looks great, and we knew it was already coming out. So it was pointless.
We've seen it a bunch of times. Returnal, I'm still saying this game looks cool, but it's coming out in April. We already know everything about not everything, but we know
kind of looking more like it still looks like what is it? Another game, Remnant. But the way they were talking about how the story is going to go feels like a roguelite.
Yeah, it is. They were saying it's like a roguelike.
It's like Hades-esque roguelite.
Yeah. It's but with that fucking first-party Sony polish, which is cool.
Yeah.
And Housemarque made shmups before they made this game, so I think this game's going to be cool. And then Oddworld, FNAF. Boo on both of these. And then Knockout City, which we saw announced last week
at the Nintendo Direct. But this time it was running at 30 FPS
instead of 15.
Yes.
This trailer. Now, Ian, I was watching the stream. I was streaming it, and then Chris was watching the stream, which was nice. And you can see the stream upload on the youtube.com/N8SComedy. But I was mentioning. I was talking about one of the other games, and I was like, "Oh, you know how it is. if a game doesn't have an air dash, or like if a game does have an air dash, I gotta like give it a hand, because you should have one. That's one of the and I was like, that's one of the problems with God of War 2018, no air dash.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, so yeah, if you have an air dash in your trailer, I'll probably play your game. And then fucking Knockout City's trailer comes on, and I'm talking shit. I'm like, this game looks stupid. And then there's an air dash, and I'm like, fuck. And so like I'm watching the trailer though, and this trailer is a much better ad for the video game, even though it's kind of more of a talkie instead of the annoying ad for the last week.
Yeah, the game definitely did look better here, and
it looks a lot more fun. And
I could see people actually playing this version of the game, but when Nintendo showed up, I'm like, this looks like shit.
Yeah, and I was saying to Chris and my audience, which was mostly Chris, that like, if this game's free, I might play it.
Only if it.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay money for it.
It looks like a game that is just.
It's like Destruction All Stars. Like I wouldn't have bought the game, but it was free, and maybe I'll play it one day.
Yeah. Maybe.
There's a lot of games.
Yeah.
But moving on to more parts of the state of play. We had one new game, only one new announcement, which was Sifu, which is actually looks great. It's from the devs of Absolver, which is a great game.
What if Absolver was actually shit? I gotta Google something really quickly.
What if Absolver was single player?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
super cool.
Kung Fu game.
Yeah, and it's like big hallway fight.
Yeah, and also your guy gets like super old as you play through, because it's like a man's entire journey through his life.
Yeah.
It's like every cool scene of like a kung fu master being like, "No, you don't get to touch me," and then they beat the shit out of the guy.
Yeah. And then finally there was the big finale, which was Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which was a PS5 upgrade free to all PS4 owners, which has cross-save, which is nice. And featuring a side story starring everyone's favorite optional party member, Yuffie.
No longer optional.
Well, sort of still is.
Yeah. Maybe the game will just be like, you can't have Yuffie in part 2 now because you didn't play Intergrade.
Well, people if you got the free upgrade, you do have to pay extra for the Yuffie DLC, which is fair. That's fully reasonable. You're getting the upgrade for free, and there's cross-save. Paying an extra. They didn't say what the price was.
If the price is like over $40, it's not.
I doubt it.
Reasonable.
It's a side story. I bet you it's gonna be like $20.
Yeah.
And then PS
20,
Plus,
25.
PS Plus made Final Fantasy VII Remake for PS4 free. But if you got it on PS Plus, you do not get the PS5 upgrade for free. You have to pay full price.
That's fine.
Yeah, like I heard people being like, Square Enix greedy, and I'm like, no, that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Also, the Yuffie story update is like only for PS5.
Yeah.
It's not available to PS4 owners at all.
Yeah. So it's if you buy it for the first time on PS5, you get the DLC for free. If you bought it on PS4 already before this month, then you will only pay extra for the DLC, but you'll get the upgrade for free. And if you get it for free this month, you pay for the full price game for the PS5.
Yeah.
If you want the DLC.
Well, hopefully they start bundling it like the PS5 version you just get.
Yeah, the PS5 version, you just get it.
Okay,
the
good.
DLC. Yeah. But then, can I do my thing before you do yours? Because mine's like immediate. Like it's right after.
Fine, but anyways, actually, I just want to keep talking about the Yuffie thing. Anthony was very upset about the Yuffie thing.
What's wrong with the Yuffie thing?
Because
it has a character from Dirge of Cerberus?
No, I think his whole logic is because Kingdom Hearts did this nonsense before, where like Kingdom Hearts 2.8, all that, and all the other games, and people would get upset about that. But Final Fantasy VII Remake puts out like blatantly says like, yeah, it's a remake of a game that you could buy just that game and have the full story, but now it's like really padded out, and they're adding an extra shit in between instead of like. His claim is that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 we would have got faster if they didn't make Intergrade.
That's almost not true, right?
I didn't even argue with them. I'm just like, if that's what you want to believe.
Anthony, if you're listening to the ep, this is great because we can have a one-way conversation about it. No, Integrate was always going to happen.
Well, yeah, because they literally said like time ago that it's like, oh yeah, we're just going to do nonsense here.
Yeah, so the PS5 version was always going to happen. This was always a plan. The game came out too close to the PS5 launch for this not to have always been a plan.
And also, the 7 remake is definitely not even going to be in 3 parts. It could even be more.
It could be more, could be less.
Or it could have been in fucking like 20 parts, but instead they're just like, oh, here's side stories now. That is like an add-on content, to try and hold you over while we make 7 part 2, or I don't know, maybe they'll do Crisis Core. What was the Zack story?
Crisis Core and Before Crisis were both.
Yeah, so maybe after FF7 2 or whatever the fuck, we'll get a Crisis Core side story.
Well, yeah, and on top of that, like this DLC, in the next game, Yuffie was going to have to be added. She's the only party member that would be in 2, and like if there are 3, then Vincent would show up in 3. So this side story is basically an excuse to like have had a finished version of Yuffie's combat, which is going to carry over into FF7 Part 2.
Yeah, or
right. On top of that, they're giving us more story content that's showing that they're adapting more of the compilation by including characters from Dirge of Cerberus, which is the best Final Fantasy game of all time.
Sure.
It's not. It's a third-person shooter for the PS2.
So they're taking a third-person shooter, a game that probably sucks because Final Fantasy is a turn-based RPG. Well, it was. And they're like, actually, you know what? Here's the character in an action RPG now.
Yeah. It's one of the villains of Dirge of Cerberus has shown up, which is cool.
Wait, so the guy gacked?
No, dude.
I don't know what
Gact
is up
in Crisis Core.
Who was the guy at the end?
He's at the end of Dirge of Cerberus, but is
like,
also
okay, in this trailer, who was the dude they showed at the end? Because all I saw was people called him Cloudaroth or some shit.
No, that's Weiss, which is the villain of Dirge of Cerberus.
All right, that's what I was like. Are they doing some weird side story where it's like, oh, Cloud and Sephiroth are now the same person?
Yeah, no, it's like a whole thing. Which is super cool. Maybe Gact will show up in one of these games, and then we'll all get to pop off.
Did you watch the Pokemon Presents thing, by the way?
No, I didn't, because I don't.
All right, so I'll just take over for that.
No, wait, I'm still going.
No, I know. I'm saying for the Potemkin Direct, I'll talk about it.
Nice. So yeah, 5 minutes after this State of Play, though, Square Enix announced a couple more things. They're both mobile, so don't get your hopes too high. The first was Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier, which was a third-person shooter battle royale where you play as people training to be soldiers, and it's a prequel to FF7 Remake. Which is wild. It actually looks kind of fun. The second was Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which is effectively the real FF7 remake. It's an RPG with like a turn-based RPG with upgraded graphics that tells the story of the original FF7 along with Before Crisis, Crisis Core, and Dirge of Cerberus. This shouldn't be a mobile-only game, and it comes out in 2022. It looks fucking incredible. You have to look at the trailer for this. It's like FF7, but with modern graphics. Like, in actuality. Like, it's still kind of like got the chibbiness, but then in the battles, it looks just like Remake. Super cool.
Yeah.
And it also follows the naming scheme of the games that are in the compilation of Final Fantasy 15 or 7. Fuck. Of the games that are in the compilation of Final Fantasy 7, which, like, as we know, it's like there's Final Fantasy 7 Advent Children, and then Before Crisis, Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus, and now Ever Crisis. So AC, BC, CC, DC, EC.
I'll be real with you. I kind of started to tune that out because I have no idea what you were talking about.
Oh, it's the titles of all the games in the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm sure whoever's listening got all that. I just like I was like looking something up, and then you just started to list numbers, and I was like,
okay, listen,
sure.
Listen to me for 1 second.
Yeah.
Advent Children. Before Crisis.
So AC, BC.
Crisis Core,
CC,
Dirge of Cerberus,
DC,
and then this one's called Ever Crisis.
EC. All right, cool. Now I understand.
Yeah. So yeah, Ever Crisis is the real FF7 remake.
Yeah. Also, was Yuffie's fucking like parka she was wearing? Was she supposed to look like a Moogle? All right, yeah. Is she supposed to be really cutesy?
Yeah.
Is that her thing?
She's young. She's pretty young.
Oh shit.
She's pretty young. We try not to sexualize her. She's a teenager.
How teenager? I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I think she's like 15.
Because oh man, I'm not allowed to because I didn't play these when I was a kid. She is 16. In Dirge of Cerberus, she is 19, but Dirge of Cerberus, I guess, took place after. But now in the intergrade, it is a midquel. So,
well, no. The intergrade. What we're doing is like this happens during the part where Cloud is with Aerith in FF7 Remake.
Yeah. So she is 16.
Yep. So yeah.
But she's born in the year 1991, and that's a fake timeline. Because that means now she would be 30.
I thought Yuffie was cute when I played Kingdom Hearts, and I was a child.
Yeah, that's fine, but that's the rule. If you see a character when you were a kid, and you were like, that character's cute, you're allowed to keep saying that for the rest of your life.
In Kingdom Hearts, she was voiced by Mae Whitman, who voiced.
Because let's not be fucking nerds about this.
Yeah.
And be like, oh,
that's fair.
You can't be attracted to Wendy from Gravity Falls. Because that show is old now. Anyways, speaking of Mae Whitman.
You were an adult when that show came out, you motherfucker.
I was 18 and she was 16. So technically, let's not get into it. Speaking of Mae Whitman, though.
Yeah.
Avatar has its own studio now.
The Avatar studio.
Yeah.
Led by Brian and Mike.
Which is good. Maybe fucking Nickelodeon will let them make their shit now and let characters be gay.
I'm sure they will because, like, in 2020,
it's 7 years later.
Franchise, in 2020, the Avatar franchise made a ton of money.
Yeah.
And then they
since it got put back on Netflix and everyone was like, time to rewatch.
They recently left their jobs at Netflix because the Netflix shows were fucking them over.
I love that. I hope we get like back-to-back Avatar shows, like the Netflix version, and then like the new animated version. Everyone's gonna be like, Netflix version sucks.
The first project they announced, what they said is these projects are not retellings. They are going to be telling stories in the Avatar timeline, and the first project is going to be a feature-length animated film.
Okay, but here's the thing. Do you think the feature-length animated film will then be a comic book story, or maybe like they'll do like a Korra story?
I think it's going to be something new, or if I personally, if I was going to adapt anything, I would probably adapt the Kyoshi comic / book that came out recently that I didn't read. But I just mean like I want to see a Kyoshi thing.
Yeah, I read all the Avatar comics, not the Kyoshi stuff and not the Korra stuff. I read all the Avatar Aang comics.
Yeah, I only read the first few.
You have to seriously rework those for them to be worth like animating, because they are so slow and boring.
They work as comics, but I don't think they need to jump over.
Yeah, I saw
anything else.
I saw people say that it was like, oh, like this is like the one book. One of the stories, like that entire arc that they go through in those ones is like one season, and I'm like, wow, these seasons suck. Like the Search and the Promise aren't very good.
Really, I was gonna say those are the better ones.
No, like they're fine, but if you were to like adapt them, it would be very boring.
No, they don't work as adaptations. They were sold as like little volumes.
Also, they kept being like, hey, look, it's Azula. She's fucking crazy still. Why do you keep letting her out of prison? They let Azula out like fucking 10 times.
The Search is like okay, but I feel like that's a mystery that didn't need to be solved.
It was literally like, oh, his mom was still alive. Where was she? Next door. She's alive. She's back now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Korra comics are supposed to be better.
I've heard also it was like stuff that they weren't allowed, like making them fully gay.
And written by a woman.
Yeah.
Not that Jean Luen Yang and Guri Huru are a bad creative team.
You know what?
Talented.
is unfortunately like almost a week old news, but it came out after the podcast ended.
What?
It's not even written here. They announced the final character for Strive.
Oh yeah, but
yeah, and it's Ino, and she's hot still.
yeah, that's true.
Now she has glasses.
Yeah. But this Avatar news is super cool. I hope that movie is a Kyoshi thing or something new even, or something, I don't know, an further adult, back in the past.
Let's do an adult fucking like Avatar Aang story that's actually cool, except recast Sokka. I don't want to hear Chris Hardwick ever again.
No, yeah, we should. You can just get Jack DeSena back.
Yeah, I'm sure his normal speaking voice is like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next,
Avatar Aang can be who Avatar Aang is. Maybe bring Jesse Flower back, or
I don't think that kid will come back though. Well, he's an adult man now, but he doesn't. He retired after that.
Yeah, he's not an actor anymore.
Yeah.
But
unless give him the option if he wants to come back and he can still do like a fine job, then yeah, you can go for it. But
yeah, bring back as much as the original cast as you can.
Yeah, Dante Basco can come back because as we saw, it's not that Zuko
He's literally got the same fucking voice.
Yeah, Zuko may have been like 19 at the end of the show or whatever the fuck, actually like 17. But like, his son, General Iroh, like the second, is fucking like has
no wait,
is
that's
like
not even
35.
his son. That's his grandson.
His grandson, yeah. He's like has this old. He's like 40 years old, but he has this kid's voice, and it's so funny.
Yeah, obviously, old man Zuko. You bring back the guy who does old man Zuko's voice. But,
but if it's mid-20s Zuko, bring back Dante Basco.
Yeah, and if we see Iroh at all, Craig Baldwin, because Mako's still dead.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So yesterday, at a whopping 10 a.m.
Yeah.
There was the Pokemon Direct, and whoa,
there was.
Guys, the meme is dead. They have finally decided to remake Gen 4 in the worst way.
Oh, fuck. I was just about to make the joke where I was like, Pokemon fans are so gluttonous that all of the fucking catering of heaven is still not enough for them.
All right.
You got your fucking remake. You got an open world game, and you got Pokemon Snap 2. Why do you beg for more?
There are other people
starving. There are others starving.
Yokai Watch fans are dead.
Yeah, Yokai Watch, the new games aren't being localized. They closed their fucking localization company.
All right,
fucking Metroid, fucking F-Zero, Mother fans, we all shut the fuck up when we hear one piece of news.
But they're also not one of the highest fucking, like, selling franchises. Once again, Pokemon comes out with a mediocre-looking game.
Pokemon fans, do you want to not be disappointed? Play games that aren't made for children!
No, shut up! Get out of here! So anyways... the Diamond and Pearl remake, instead of going the full, like, proper art style, like the proper looking people that they used in Gen 8, they decided to adapt the sprite look, but now you're like little chibi characters walking around.
And it looks absolutely fine.
I just think it needs more detail, but then Sword and Shield also kind of looked like not detailed when they first showed it, but at least they fixed the 3D models for Pokemon, so that's better.
Yeah.
And then we got a game that I think looks pretty cool, because now the Pokemon will beat the shit out of you. Pokemon Legends Arceus is the first
Horizon Zero Pokemon.
Or Monster Hunter. It is a Pokemon game
to me.
It is a Pokemon game that is a free open world. You travel around an ancient version of Sinnoh, playing as like the ancestor of Lucas or Dawn. Because those characters look the same, just wearing like old-timey Japanese clothes.
And the Pokeball made of wood.
Yeah, bamboo. So you go and fucking go around the world. You can just toss Pokeballs and shit at random Pokemon. You don't have to get in fights. But when you do get in fights, it is no longer turn-based. It is now on an active time battle system or whatever the fuck it's called.
It's like an ATB.
Yeah, that's it. It's an ATB. So your Pokemon can just fight. like you can just my Pokemon I have a fucking Garchomp and it's faster and does more damage, so it's just gonna go like attack a bunch of times. But the game is about being the first person to make a record of Pokemon. It's the original Pokédex for Sinnoh.
That's super cool.
And the three starters aren't even from Sinnoh.
No, like, they're all 3 random starters.
Yeah, it is Rowlet from Gen 7, Cyndaquil, my boy, from Gen 2, and who was the last one? Oshawott from Gen 5.
Revolver Oshawott.
Yeah, Revolver Oshawott. Which is nice that they did that. I think that's interesting. Yeah, instead of it being like the same 3 that we've already had.
They got 3 games that look great.
Yeah. Well,
and one thing.
What was the other? Oh, and then also we got Pokemon Snap, more looks, so how the game is going to be different.
Looks awesome.
I hope there's still a limit on how many pictures you can take. Because now it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
like back in the day,
that just doesn't work in the modern day because it's maybe your phone memory.
Yeah, but then that's still too many pictures. But like in the old Pokemon Snap days, you had to be perfect because you only had 20 opportunities to take a picture because it was film. But in this one, I bet they're just gonna be like just fucking nonstop.
Bet you'll just be allowed to take 1 million, and they just make the difficulty based on other things.
Yeah, well, you still got to like get the best picture, but it's like. I'm gonna be able to do the thing where I'm just like, I know like this fucking Primarina is gonna like do like this cool backflip in the air. It's gonna like look like the fucking promotional material for the Little Mermaid. And instead of me having to like time like 3 good pictures in a row that I can pick from later, I'm just gonna be able to be like rapid fire and just scroll through it.
Yeah,
but
man.
We got 3 Pokemon games, 2 remakes people desperately wanted, and we're still not happy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I used to be on the Pokemon fan side and be like, oh yeah, Game Freak, they're they want so much money, and like now I looked at these things. I didn't watch the actual direct because I don't care about Pokemon. But
yeah, no, and also there was like a 10-minute advertisement for being like, look at Pokemon, look at how long we've existed, blow us, please.
And it's like yeah, and I just seeing certain fans' reactions. I'm just like, man, you guys are just. You'll never be happy. You'll never be happy. And you know what? You don't deserve to be.
Yeah, I watched like 5 minutes of a reaction of like Alpharad watching it, and he was like, I think what all Pokemon fans really want is like a Pokemon game where you can play through every single area. And I'm like, no, I just would like one good area again, please.
Yeah, also that's just like not really doable.
Yeah, it's also like it's doable on other platforms, not on the Switch. The Switch is not powerful enough for that.
I want a Yakuza game with every city they've ever had before in extreme detail where they're all meaningful to the story. Okay, well that's going to make the game take 8 years to develop and also...
But actually, I said 7, but 7 just has 2 of the most important ones. Mm-hmm. But the 2 that like Sotenbori and Kamurocho doesn't matter. Like there's no side content there except for mini games.
Oh yeah. That's one of my main complaints with the game.
Yeah, which sucks. I really wish there was like there's the final Millennium Tower.
Don Quixote is gone too.
Yeah, replaced with the police station.
But also the one in Sotenbori is gone too, and it's just like replaced.
Yeah, with which I don't know. Did Don Quixote like the actual chain go out of business?
No, I think the brand,
or they pulled out.
Their contract ended after fucking like 15, 20 years.
Or maybe they were just like, don't put us in anymore. We're not interested.
Yeah, which is lame.
Yeah, so Pokemon games, Pokemon fans can never be pleased.
Yeah,
we all want something different, and that's the problem. Don't
fuck with Pokemon fans. We hate our games.
I'm excited to play Legends of Arceus. That's the one that I think it looks really cool.
That game looks cool. It's too bad the frame rate of the trailer was like 14, but
yeah, but also the game looked unpolished as fuck. Like
yeah. Oh, it looked fine. Like
yeah, and also when we first got a look at Sword and Shield, that also looked worse. But Sword and Shield runs fine when you're playing offline. When you're on like it's mostly system lag that happens because it's like, oh, we got so many people running around, we're connecting to the internet with our shitty Wi-Fi chips.
But yeah. So that's all the news of this week, folks. So time to get into our actual weeks.
Yeah, we're pretty much. I can't talk much about Scramble. I only played like an hour.
Okay, I played about 3.
Mm.
So I didn't play a ton. But I do really like it. It's cool. If you are a Persona... Oh, by the way, we're talking about Persona 5 Strikers, a.k.a. Persona 5 Scramble, the Phantom Strikers, depending on where you live.
Yeah.
So this game came out a year after its Japanese release due to COVID. Totally reasonable. I'm not going to be a dick about it. But this is kind of...
I am.
This is kind of like the coolest Warriors game I've seen, personally. Because it's not, and it's co-developed by the people who developed the thing it's based on. So, like, when you play this game, it's pretty much Persona 5 2. It just has different combat and slightly different exploration. But it's P5 2. It doesn't have the in-depth social links that Persona 5 does. Instead, basically having a connection board where you get connection points and then purchase
just
things
by
with
being
them.
friends.
Yeah. You can play as all the characters, but you can only have 4 people in a party at once.
Which is pretty standard for these games.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't like one thing about it.
What don't you like?
I like the continuous big battles. I don't really like starting random small battles.
Are you still at the part where it's like tutorializing it?
Probably.
Okay.
But I was listening to another podcast earlier, and a guy said was like talking like it's a good thing that instead of it just being like one big open field where you beat up a bunch of guys, it's that you start encounters and then you beat up the guys in the encounter. And I just don't like that. I'd rather the big open field, but I'm a fan of Warriors games, so...
Yeah, there's a mix. So, because, like, you remember, in Persona, they have, like, the enemies walk around, right? And then you can stealth them.
Yeah, and then sometimes you will instantly kill them, and...
Yeah, this game does the same thing, except when you rip the mask off, they become, like, 5 or 10 guys, and then you, like, can fight them in little hallways. But then you'll also have larger encounters in bigger areas as well. Just because it's because unlike other Warriors games, it's also a dungeon crawling game like Persona is, right? So you kind of have to do more exploration. And I think it does work. Like, getting in a few little fights while trying to solve puzzles, open boxes, it still works. It works to me like just as good as not just as good as the original, but it's close. But the story is just literally it's a fucking sequel. Like 6 months after the end of Persona 5 regular, Royal isn't canon. Royal explicitly does not happen. Joker comes back to visit his friends. And then they, start an adventure that I'm not going to spoil any of. But it's a super quality game. Like it just works in that Persona thing, and it runs great.
I really wish there was one additional thing about the social link.
Yeah,
just let me hang out with my girlfriend.
Just keep her in your party.
No, I just would I think it just would have been like a nice the game actually moves forward. If it's just there's just little side things where you're like, I'm gonna go hang out with Makoto, or you're gonna go hang out with Futaba, under the guys that you guys are dating. Not that it's we're just friends.
Yeah, but that would be really hard for it to do.
I want to take Makoto to see Yakuza Like a Dragon.
You mean Dragon Like a Yakuza?
I can't remember.
She says Dragon Like a Yakuza.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's go hang out and have fun.
Maybe they'll have more of that later in, because I don't know if this is a spoiler, but it's past where I am, but it's also on the back of the fucking box of the game.
Yeah.
Shibuya isn't the only location you go to. The story revolves around a road trip.
I know that. I know that part. So
okay. So once the road trip gets started, maybe they'll have more, or at least just
more one-on-one stuff where I can hang out with people and
yeah, potentially. But I get why. This game still had to have a production budget, you know?
You know what I think would have been cool?
What?
Instead of them doing like, oh, here's a new police character, the investigator or whatever the fuck, that ends up becoming a Persona user. That's in the opening of the game. And also in the promotional materials.
Yeah, that guy.
What if, since this is a non-canon spin-off, what if that was an older, like, Naoto?
That'd be cool. This is canon.
Oh, is it? So wait. But
this
Royal's
is
the canon one.
Royal's not. No, Royal's not canon.
Oh, come on.
P5 original is canon, and this is canon. Or at least, like, to this. P5 original is canon to this. And this is the only glimpse we've seen at the future. So if a later thing comes out and says Royal is and Strikers is, then that'll be true.
Yeah, maybe they'll just do like a thing where they'll release a DLC that's called like Strikers Royal or something. And maybe. Now all of a sudden it's like Kasumi just shows up in like a side mission where she's like, "Sorry guys, I was too busy being a gymnast to come on the road trip." Yeah. What do you mean you guys didn't think about me this whole time? What the fuck?
And Akechi, right?
Yeah, or you just get a phone call during that one where Akechi's like, "Yeah, I'm in America.
Sure.
I can't be there right now."
But yeah, so if you like Persona, buy this fucking video game. It's good. It's more Persona. It's great.
Yeah. Also, I like the concept that the reason why it's not turn-based anymore, this is my own reasoning. It's not turn-based anymore because you weren't coming back at this as like, "Oh no, we're not as powerful as we used to be." It's like, no, you guys are so powerful you can beat up like 100 pixies at once instead of being like, "Oh, we gotta wait our turn."
You're top level.
Yeah. Yeah, game seems fun. I want to play more, but it also has like the Persona issue of like sometimes you're just sitting there for a while and reading dialogue.
Reading dialogue. Yeah. It's great though. They got the whole cast back.
You get Sophia now. Replace the non-canon redhead with another non-canon redhead.
Well, I think Persona 5 Strikers is going to wind up being more canon than Royal because Dancing All Night and the Persona 4 arena games are considered more canon than Golden.
Oh, okay.
So I think that means this will be more canon than Royal was. Mm. But it could just be that like a later thing will act like both happened.
If this is probably the last Persona 5 thing. Unless they make Persona 5 Arena, this is definitely I think this is the last.
Persona 4 they managed to crank 5 spin-off games out of, and Persona 5, a much more popular game, has gotten like only 3 or 4.
Yeah. Okay, so we got 2 more Persona games then, by your estimate.
At least. Like, this could get a sequel. Like, people love Persona 5.
I think if they did a sequel of this, they gotta add like other characters. Like, I mean, like let's add some P3 boys. And
yeah, I'd love to see a crossover thing. Other than the Persona Q2, because I don't care. I want Persona 5 Arena because Persona 4 Arena brought over P3 characters. So
yeah,
I want P5 Arena, even if it's like fucking CyberConnect 2.
CyberConnect doesn't make the worst games. They just keep fucking making the same game.
I didn't put this in my week. I bought the not Persona, fucking Naruto pack of games. Ooh. And I literally cannot figure out the fucking fighting in them.
You just mash square.
Square does shuriken.
Oh, B, the other one then, circle.
But circle only does like one basic combo, and there are more moves.
There's only one basic combo. You do a basic.
Okay. Then
there's a basic combo, and then you hold. And then while you're in, after the first button hit, you hold down or forward or back or up, and you have 3 different options of how you're going to do the combo. But then also,
then I have a second question: do you level up in this game to do more damage? Because I don't know
which one you're playing. Which one are you playing?
The first one. I feel like I keep getting my ass blown out, and there's no fucking tutorials.
I've never played the first one, so I have no idea.
Okay. Maybe the first one's just Garba. Like, but I keep
it's
getting...
the first one. I think they get better, but the fights do definitely get like. There's fights where instead of it just being like an actual one-on-one fight, it's like a more supposed to be like cinematic fight. So you can beat like the beginning of Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. You sit there and fucking as you play as Hashirama and you're fighting Madara at like their climactic battle where they shape the valley at the end, where Naruto and Sasuke have their battle at the end of the series and also had their original battle, like their first real one-on-one fight. So. What
yeah,
as Hashirama
this game would tell me some of the story, but like it does start you in a weird place and doesn't give you much.
So you're playing Ultimate Ninja Storm?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look it up, see where it starts you. Fuck, I clicked on Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Yeah, I don't know. I think the game does tell you enough, but there's also, it still has its problems.
Like I think I already took some kind of Chunin exam. Or something.
Oh yeah, Ultimate Ninja Storm is, I think, the entirety of the beginning of Naruto.
Yeah, but it's like the beginning has kind of already happened. I think. Like I'm.
So like, did you do the wave arc, or did you just start at the Chunin exam?
I think I think the game started after the Chunin exam, or like maybe I'm preparing for it.
I'm seeing the screens I'm seeing is Gamabunta fighting Shukaku, so that's the Chunin exams.
Okay, okay. Let me tell you this. I am like 0% into the game, and they've mentioned the Chunin exams. Maybe I thought it sounded like he'd already done it, but maybe it meant like he qualified or something.
The Chunin exams is a huge part of the beginning of Naruto.
Okay. So, the mission that I got sent is... Oh, wait. I know the last thing I just got my ass blown out by. Okay, the fucking bug guy.
Shino.
Yeah.
I don't know when Naruto doesn't actually really fight Shino in but Shino's a zoner.
There's a character select, but I was picking Naruto because the game's called Naruto.
Do you know about this is since you said you never played the tutorial. Did you know if you press Y, like your chakra button?
Yeah, it does things.
If you press Y and then A, you do like a charge which will go through everything but supers.
The dash, you mean?
Yes, the chakra dash will go through everything but supers.
Man, I keep getting hit out of it. Maybe
and it's a little
that's
stunned.
A change for later.
Fuck, I don't know. Maybe I'm not gonna buy this game and check it because I don't have Ninja Storm 1. I have 3 and 4 and Boruto.
You probably have it.
I don't have Ultimate Ninja Storm. I have the oldest Xbox in the world.
No, but if you bought... do you have these games on PlayStation or Steam?
I have 4 on PlayStation. I have Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution. I don't know which one this is. Oh, why did I buy this? I know this one. It sucks. It's like a Smash clone almost.
Oh.
Yeah. Where like the story that happens is like this non-canon like beat 'em up part where you are at like a tournament. It's a weird one. So I don't know why I got it.
Maybe I'll play more Naruto. I don't know.
Nice.
It's at this point where it's not fun.
Just abuse like your supers because like enemies are pretty fucking stupid. Like
I was trying,
or at least in the later ones they are
messing me up. But maybe I'm just bad. There's no fucking tutorial in this game. I do want to make that clear. There
I'm sure.
One. They literally put me into a fight before I knew what button to press. Like I had to figure it out in the fight. It was very harrowing.
They kind of do that in like all of them because they're like, in 4 especially because they're just like you should know how to play these by now. And it's like, well, what if this is your first?
I'll tell you, I did do one fight where it was me against the guy who's got like the face mask, and he's got the one eye out. You know the
Kakashi.
Guy Kakashi. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I beat his ass, no problem. It's just every fight after that, I've lost.
So that was probably the tutorial, which was actually when Naruto was being selected, like they're being tested to see if they can be a team players or whatever.
Yeah. So the mission that I was on after that I was trying to do, because you pick the missions from the pause menu, and it doesn't say which order you're supposed to do them in. which is super annoying and confusing. And so then I picked one, and it's like, we're trying to see what alternate teams could be. Do you want to try Naruto? And Naruto's like, you better believe it. And then it was like, fight the bug guy. And then I was like, okay. And then I got my ass kicked by the bug guy. And I was like, I just kicked ass at the first fight, and the second fight, I got my ass kicked.
Yeah, this game looks the same. Like it looks the same as it always has. It's just that tier lists in this one is actually just important. That's about it.
Oh, so maybe I shouldn't have just been playing as Naruto.
Naruto is usually a pretty basic, but like pre-Shippuden Naruto kind of sucks.
This game's not even called Shippuden.
Yeah, so but maybe try playing as Sasuke. He's usually better.
Okay.
Because also Naruto has
I do like the open world. I do want to say the open world's cool.
Naruto has like the games do a really good job of like being like, this is the Leaf Village. This is what it's like.
Yeah,
especially since you really don't get to see a lot of the Leaf Village. You get to see like one block that Naruto walks on because that's where the ramen shop is. But it's like there's all these other places. Where are they? Sort of shit.
It's like Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah, where it's like, oh yeah, that's where they built the city and it looks great.
Yeah. But yeah. Moving on to the next thing.
Yeah. Also, you know how to use your supers, right?
It's like Y plus B, right?
It's like YYB to use like your ultimate ninjutsu.
I
YB.
I think I would need to charge before I can get that meter to do that.
You have to have at least 75% of the meter to use it.
Yeah, if you hold Y, he just powers up like he's a Goku.
Yeah, because they're focusing their chakra. Yeah. Who was also good? I think Shikamaru was good in the as a kid. Ino's all right. Pretty fucking Neji slaps.
I think I only have like Naruto, Sasuke, and girl Naruto.
Sakura. Don't call her girl Naruto.
I forget that. I never watched. I read one volume of this manga. I think it was the first one as a kid, and then I watched like a small handful of episodes whenever they showed up on TV, and I didn't care for it.
Yeah, Sakura sucks in Naruto, like at the beginning, until like playing as her, listening to her, her place in the story, garbage. Later on, though, I will not take any people yelling at me about she's bad.
I think I'm gonna change the voices back to English.
That's fine. I don't like the English voices, but that's all matter of opinion.
Fucking, because I was watching the opening credits because I picked Japanese just because on the menu is like Naruto fucking Ultra Ninja Storm.
Literally the only problem is Naruto's voice actor. That's it. Everyone else.
I saw all the actors and I'm like, Crispin Freeman, I love him.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve Bloom.
David Lodge is Jiraiya, and he is fantastic. But it's just Naruto's voice actor. Yuri Lowenthal is Sasuke.
Yuri Lowenthal, he's great.
There's great picks. It's great casting, except for Naruto.
But I think like if I play it in English, I might start liking it. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Like ironically enjoying
Steve Bloom is Orochimaru.
Yeah. Right. I was like, maybe I'll like start ironically liking it because I do enjoy Believe It over Date Bayo.
Yeah. Well, it's like they had to figure something out. It's just so much.
Believe it.
Yeah.
I'm Naruto.
It's his fucking voice. It's just so bad. Good. It's such a bad voice.
It's you know what? I'm maybe I'll turn around on it. I think I love it.
I can never. I just can't turn around on it. I'm like, this is just bad. This is
I think
I'm
going
shit.
to because I think I can get that sort of like this thing's really fucking dumb and I enjoy it vibes. Because I want to hear those other voice actors because they're great.
Yeah, I think the guy who does Kakashi's fucking Liam O'Brien as Gaara is awesome.
Liam O'Brien,
yeah.
Him. That's
also you also get to see in later if you do get to Shippuden, you get to see a Troy Baker Matt Mercer flip again.
Nice.
I think twice because Troy Baker voices Yamato and Pain, and I think in the newer games they were like, yeah, Matt Mercer, we need you.
That's funny.
Troy Baker's too big for us now.
Yeah. They did that. They did the exact same thing in
Dave Wittenberg
Persona
is
4.
Kakashi.
What I was going to say, speaking of Liam O'Brien and voice actors in general, they released a trailer and like a nice supplemental video about the voice actors of Near Replicant 1.22, etc.
Yeah. Have you met Mike Guy yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god. Amazing character.
Yeah.
The fuck is it? Skip Stelrick? That's a weird name.
Anyway, but the Near
this
Replicant
dude was Ryu. Sorry.
The Near Replicant thing, they brought back like pretty much all the original voice actors, and they had them do like a little thing talking about the games. And it's so funny. Well, first of all, obviously, like Nier doesn't have the same voice actor.
1 second. I remembered one of the worst casting changes in Naruto.
What?
There is a character named Toby in later part of Naruto. And when he has this like really imposing, like great deep voice, like great voice acting. And I really like it. But then they pull his mask off. And they change his voice completely to Vic Mignogna.
That sucks.
And I'm not even saying Vic Mignogna like gross because of all the things he's been accused of. I'm saying
that's
gross.
The thing you should be saying though.
No, I'm saying gross because of bad voice acting. It's like it just doesn't fit the character. It's kind of like how they brought him back to be Broly the second time. It's like, why? Why did you do this?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a good like adult voice. Like he's Edward Elric, and I'll never hear it as anything else.
But anyway, the Near Replicant thing.
Oh,
so
Nolan North played him for a minute.
Nice. So the new voice actors that are playing Brother Nier. We've got a guy named Zach Aguilar. I don't know if you know him.
Zach Aguilar?
I haven't heard of him.
I do know him. Can't remember from what. Who texted? Why is my mom just texts me things with questions that need like a picture for me to really understand, but she just fucking doesn't.
Okay.
He's Byleth. He was the replacement Byleth, yeah. And also he plays Tanjiro in Demon Slayer.
Oh.
Who else?
So he
was Nasa in Tonikawa, but that anime sucks. He was Jay in the FF7 remake.
Jay? Who's Jay?
I have no idea, but it's a named character.
Is he the guy that like loves Tifa and that we try to force him to like leave town?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Is he the guy on the bike?
I honestly do not know because I don't remember that remake that well.
Oh right, yeah, you didn't beat the game.
Did you play Yakuza 7 subbed or dubbed?
Subbed.
He plays Kume in dub.
Oh.
You know, little fucking bitch boy. Tiny little simp of a man. We'll get into that in like an hour.
I actually don't remember that character.
You should.
What does he do?
I can't tell you. It is a major fucking spoiler.
Oh wait. He's the guy. No. It's not a spoiler.
He's the Bleach Japan guy.
He's the Bleach Japan guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the leader of like the local branch.
He hates strippers.
Yeah. He hates prostitutes. He hates prostitutes.
Yeah. I think first time I saw the picture of him, I think I sent a snap to Emma, who I don't know why she would never understand this. I'm just like, he looks like the kind of guy who says that strippers are bad, but then goes out and murders prostitutes at night.
Sure does.
He's that kind of character. Yeah. So this guy has a big repertoire.
You could just say the guy who tried to kill Ronald Reagan because he was in love with like a 14-year-old Jodie Foster from the movie Taxi Driver.
I just saw. Oh, he plays Koichi in the English dub of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So yeah, that's Zach Aguilar's credits.
Okay, so he's playing the younger version of Brother Nier before the time skip that happens partway through Nier.
It's a good choice. He's got that voice.
Yeah, and then adult Nier is Ray Chase, baby.
Oh boy,
that's my Noctis.
Well, you say that's my Noctis like they changed Noctis's voice actor.
He's my Noctis. That's what his Twitter says. It's me, your Noctis. Ray Chase is great, love him. But then, of course, the original cast is back, re-recording every line again.
That's good.
So Liam O'Brien as Grimoire Weiss. Laura Bailey as Kaine. Julianne Taylor as Emile. And then, I forget the name of the actress who plays Devlin Popla. But she's great. She's back. But it was funny.
Is it the same one from Nier Automata?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was funny watching the video, though, because, like, you know, they were all talking up how great Nier 1 is. And in my brain, all I can say is, like, fucking Liam O'Brien and Laura Bailey, you are just saying that. Like, I don't believe you thought this game was cool the first time. Like, I don't believe that you were like, Nier's brilliant. Yeah. Now, I think you believe that now, maybe after Automata, but I don't think you believed that the first time. But when Julianne Taylor and Devlin Popla's actors are talking, they're like, yo, this game's fucking sick. It's like, and you totally believe it.
Yeah.
But that's because they got to be in two games.
I think it's like voice actors who started in anime and then move on to like bigger things.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just got to put some respect on like the anime voice acting shit, because like it's where you got your start. Like Troy Baker, he started in fucking anime.
Yeah, but he's still
too good for anime.
No, he still does it. He's in the new Baki.
Only when it's something he really likes. Like he didn't come back to Naruto, but he loves Baki. And also he wasn't Baki in the original version, but in the remake he is.
Yeah, but he was in the original Baki.
Yeah.
Like Troy Baker will do stuff. He's at the point where he can be choosy.
Yeah. And unfortunately sometimes they're like, we didn't choose you, and he's like, oh man, why? Yeah. Like what was it?
Tales of Zestiria, where they kept his original voice acting, but then got a different guy to do the new stuff, and it sounds completely different.
Also Borderlands 3.
Oh yeah, Borderlands 3. That's
when they didn't bring him back for his character that like he put a lot of effort into.
Yeah, because it's bad. It's Telltale, because he's like friends. He was like really enjoyed doing that role, and that's why he came back to be Batman. Oh,
Liam O'Brien still shows up in Naruto stuff.
Yeah, he was in Monster. He's the main character of Monster in the dub.
Yeah. Really also, good. Liam O'Brien probably is still within that like anime crowd. Like Laura Bailey's leaving it now.
Laura Bailey's gone.
Yeah, she's like, I'm never doing this shit again. You want me to do it? Nani? I'll fucking cut your legs off.
Yeah, I was surprised she came back for Nier 1, but it's also my favorite performance of hers.
Liam O'Brien was uncredited in the endgame credits of the original Nier.
Really?
For his portrayal of Grimoire Weiss. Yeah.
I didn't know
it says here, uncredited. That's weird.
Oh, maybe he used a different name?
Usually it would say like credited as, so I think they just said no, you're not in it or some shit.
Maybe it was like a union thing? Or maybe he just was like, I don't want anyone to know
I don't know.
Terrible thing.
It's weird because this was like not at the start of his career. It was like
midway through.
20 credits deep.
Yeah.
On just the video game section. I don't know, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Why were we talking about demons? I mean, Nier
Replicant? I just like they had put out a video and it was funny and I was
okay.
I just want to point out
Is that game coming out in a couple months?
Yeah, April.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be so good.
There's so many games coming now. Like, I feel like we were in such a drought where it's like, we got nothing. And now it's like, here you go. Yeah. Games, motherfucker.
Here you go, bitch.
Yeah, like, when's that Kena game come out?
August.
So, okay. So at least I have until then. And then fucking Hyper Light Drifter 2. Now it's 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Solar Ash. Yeah.
That's coming in May, I thought. Or maybe it doesn't have a date, but it's still 2021.
It's still 2021. I thought they said what it was, but it's not here yet.
Okay. Returnal comes out in April. I want to say Ratchet and Clank comes out in June.
Oh man, I was gonna get fucking Solar Ash. I was gonna get these games on PS5 regardless because they're not shooters, they're action games.
Yeah.
But thank God, because Kena is an Epic Games exclusive.
Oh yeah, Kena, I guess, got it on PS5. You know.
Yeah, I'm getting that on PS5. I'm gonna get Solar Ash on PS5 as well.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I have no reason to get action games on my PC now that like the PS5 has crazy good loading times, because that was the only thing keep like holding me back before.
Yeah.
So.
I hope Deathloop has cross save or crossplay so I can fuck you over Dark Souls style in your game.
That would be fun. That one I'd definitely have to get on PC.
Yeah, because it's an FPS.
Yeah,
but that game comes out what, March or April?
Yeah.
Right? That's soon. Again, Ratchet and Clank, June.
Can't wait for that one.
That looks great. Yeah.
Yeah. We've gone back into the news.
So much stuff. So many things.
All right. So this week, I played more Apex Legends, and honestly, that's it. I have been very busy with work and lying in bed a lot. Oh shit! Actually, fuck Apex Legends. Apex Legends is just cool. I don't know why I'm back into it so hard. It's just a fun ass game.
It's great.
But
it's like Titanfall, but less good. But it's more popular.
I finished all of Adventure Time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that is a really good show.
Nice. How was the ending?
Great.
That's great.
It's told in a really weird way though, because it's like this 3-parter episode.
Oh, it's like it takes place in the future, right?
Yeah,
like
but it's like it's like 100 or like 1,000 years in the future or some shit. And there's these 2 new characters that are like reminiscent of Finn and Jake, except like one's like this cat person, and the other one is like another unicorn dog hybrid. So it's like one of Jake's ancestors. And they find a robot arm, and it's Finn's, and it's all rusted. And they try and like play it up like, oh, the war that happened between the 2 Candy Kingdoms was like Bimo is now like the king of Ooh in the future. And he's sitting there telling the story, and he keeps like cutting off and making it sound like, oh, they're all dead now. They're all like horrible, like the war ended badly. It was the Mushroom War 2.0. Yeah. But then it turns out, no, actually everything ended up totally fine. They defeat Gumball. Princess Bubblegum says her anti-character will be the queen of the other kingdom. Then they're just going to live in harmony together. Instead of her like old malicious ways of being like, nah, fuck you. I'm going to kill you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she like they just kind of move on with the world, and like Finn, the reason why they found the arm is because they de-escalate the war, and then I can't remember, this fucking character just literally shows up because Betty used her like new magic powers and all the things she was using to revive like an elder god that was going to destroy the universe and was like corrupting everything.
Okay.
But she realizes what she was doing was wrong and uses the Ice King's crown to use its wishing power, because they revert it back to the state where the Ice King's crown was first created, that it can grant wishes again, because that was the original purpose of the crown.
Yeah.
So it grants her wish to keep Simon safe. The Ice King is dead. It's Simon again.
Oh, nice. Like
he gets his memories back and he becomes like a normal man again.
That's good.
But so Ice King, the Ice King is gone. Well, Simon is no longer the Ice King. So that version of Ice King is dead. Using the wish power that the crown grants, Betty becomes this like crazy otherworldly monster and just leaves. Golb, that's what it's called.
Oh, Golb?
Yeah.
Oh, like oh my glob gob.
Yeah.
Golb. Nice.
Well, because Glob Gob and the other one was regular Kingman's brother. Mm-hmm. So Betty fuses with Golb, leaves, and because her wish was that she wants to just protect Simon. Mm-hmm. So she fuses with it. But then, like, a distant time in the future, because in Distant Lands they show Simon again. It's in Distant Lands 2 is the future episode where Marceline and Bubblegum are fucking again.
Nice.
And it shows that their relationship is stronger and Marceline's happier than ever, sort of shit. Ice King is still alive. He's not old. He's like, he hasn't aged at all. Like, he's the same age, and people think he is now immortal because of Betty's wish.
Wow. That's
And it's just like, I want them. I really hope. I'm excited for the next Distant Lands, because that one is supposed to be about Finn and Jake post series.
Yeah.
Because it's implied that Jake might be dead. Because Finn has have you seen the picture of adult Finn?
Yeah.
He's still missing his arm, but like he has a tattoo of winking Jake, but the flowers, people identified them as forget-me-nots.
Oh.
Yeah, but then that wouldn't make sense, because Jake's
like a weird creature.
Yeah, he's an alien, and his father, his second dad,
yeah,
the one who impregnated Joshua,
yeah,
was still alive and wasn't actually aging. He just was losing some of his powers.
Right.
And in the episode when they find him, so it's like fucking weird. Jake is definitely still alive.
So pretty much the last thing that I watched was the episode where like Joshua was pregnant. But or like if that's right after the stakes.
I just fucking love. Yeah, that is like right after stakes. No,
yeah.
I just love how fucking Jake pops out of his dad's head like a tutor, and he's like, "Hello, mommy. Hello, daddy. It's so nice to meet you."
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, how'd you like Stakes? Because that was the last thing I saw, and I loved.
Stakes is great. It's probably one of the better like long form episodes, because they started doing those a bunch.
They did that. They did Stakes and Islands were like the two.
Then there's another one when they get back from Island.
Oh, really?
Where what's her name? I gotta go back to Princess, because she's in the elementals. It's the ice elemental. Because it turns out that PB, Slime Princess, and Flame Princess are all these elementals. Three of the four elementals. And then the fourth one shows up, and she's the actual ice elemental. Because it's not Ice King, it's her. Because Ice King only has his powers because of the crown.
I thought PB was like slime.
No, she's Candy. Candy is one of the elements.
Right, but no, she was like
she was born from the Mother Gum. Her and Nettie were born at the same time from the Mother Gum.
Right, but if you remember, like, she shows up in Simon and Marcy, and she's like a bunch of slime.
Yeah, she shows up for like a second, and they're just like, "Ew, what's that?" Anyways, the Mother Gum was something different. She was like born out of it. She's a separate entity. But when she becomes an elemental, she becomes this like giant tower who just starts infecting the world with candiness.
Yeah.
It looks so stupid. I'm trying to find the name of that lady.
It doesn't matter.
So she does something that turns them all into like their primal elemental forms. And so Finn comes back from the island and everything is fucked. And he's trying to save the day, but he can't do it. And you know who does save the day?
Who?
Lumpy Space Princess. Because Lumpy Space Princess is the anti-elemental.
Nice.
Yeah, so her like negativity that she breeds like reverts everyone back to their original state. Yeah.
I just Stakes is so good.
Stakes is probably the best one. Islands is pretty good because of like the tenderness of it and how like how his mom goes from being this like broken woman to like being like, I'm just gonna devote my life to helping everyone because the man I love ran away with the child, but turns out it was an accident.
Yeah, like again, I have not watched beyond like pretty much beyond Stakes, but like that's the last thing I remember, and it's super good.
Past Stakes, this show is great. There's like no bad episodes.
Yeah, the like Stakes I think nails being like an action show, a comedy show, and like having good drama and emotionality to it.
What the fuck?
What?
Yeah, there's the thing I just found. So you know Martin Mertens, Finn's dad.
Yeah.
He plays a character named Mr. M in the BMO story in Distant Lands, which is so weird. Because BMO story in Distant Lands is a thing that happens in the past.
So is it the same guy?
It's the same guy. Martin Mertens is also Mr. M, and they're both voiced by Stephen Root. So I should have fucking put that together, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the song in Stakes at the end though, Everything Stays. It's like, the last Rebecca Sugar fucking thing that they did for the show, because it was long after Steven Universe came out. It was like,
and there's a fucking in the final episode. The final episode is called "Come Along with Me."
Yeah, and it's like 4 episodes long.
Yeah, and it ends with Finn and Jake just like hanging out in front of like this giant hole, and then they're like talking, and then the hole starts talking to them, and the hole's like has a woman's voice. It's the singer of the song, of the original song, and she just says, "I wrote a new song. Do you guys want to hear it?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, go for it, music hole." And she sings it, and it's like the longer version of "Come Along with Me," and it shows like everyone in their post story, like Marceline and PB are like hanging out and getting all close and like blushing and looking at each other like little kids.
That's super sweet.
Simon is like on like just kind of like walking around, figuring like checking out the world now that his brain is not fucked up. So I said the wrong thing. Ice King is not dead. Gunter becomes Ice King. Yeah.
Oof.
And he gets married to Turtle Princess. Because Gunter is also a cosmic entity and is one of the most evil species in the entire universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's the guy from the end of season 7.
Yeah, Orgalorg.
Orgalorg, thank you.
Yeah. And he puts on the crown, and he has a wish, and he fuses with the crown and becomes Ice Thing.
Ice Thing. Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love Adventure Time. I should get into it again.
They're so good.
All right. Well, let's start the last bit of this pod. Okay.
Yeah.
New episode of WandaVision came out. That's again this week. Episode 8.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about it. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's
great.
It's a lot of talk in this episode.
Yeah, well, I said it last week on this podcast. Episode 8 is going to be mostly flashbacks.
Yeah, and that was right. But they were interesting flashbacks because they weren't flashbacks. They were flashbacks we have never... Okay, they were, but they were ones we have never seen.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Like, I meant, like, an exposition dump.
We got to see the beginning of the series, of the beginning of Wanda's story, where the reason why this is all sitcoms is because Wanda herself is a huge fan of sitcoms, and that's what she used to watch with her family.
But in just a little bit, because I wish this thing that I said to my mom after she watched the last episode, I wish I had said it on the podcast, because I said the next episode is going to be mostly flashbacks explaining how we got here, and then the first scene is going to be Agatha being burnt at the stake during the Salem witch trials, and I was so fucking close.
Oh man! Well, it wasn't the Salem witch trials; it was the witch trials of each other,
putting her on trial. It was Salem though, and it was witches.
Do you think the power she activates? So what she does is she's on trial because she just like how Doctor Strange was like, yeah, I'm gonna like learn shit beyond my station. Agnes did that. Agatha.
You think it's dark dimension stuff?
I think so, because they were like, it's shit that you don't understand, or it's above your rank and your age or whatever. Yeah. And she uses the power of the dark magic that she learned to absorb the magic of the other witches.
And it's purple like other dark dimension magic that we've seen.
Yeah. So she takes the power, she drains the bodies, and then she takes the crest from her mother, which I guess would be like, oh, I'm the head witch now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's
magic
reasonable.
Seems to be I wouldn't say more powerful than Wanda's, but definitely she's more in control. Like she knows what to do with it.
But she's more in control because she knows more about it, right?
It's like
these runes,
the logic,
the spells and shit. Like I know that.
It's the logic of like, and you remember in Young Justice in like the first season when it's like, oh, Superboy can't beat Black Canary because Black Canary knows how to fight better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Wanda can't beat Agnes, or fuck, I'm just gonna keep calling her Agnes. I don't care.
Oh.
Can't beat her because Agnes was just like, I know how to deflect this shit.
Well, yeah,
I've been alive for 10,000 years, motherfucker. Well, probably 1,000.
Yeah, like
maybe 500.
500, 1600s.
Yeah, she's 400 or 500 years old.
Yeah. But I think that's apt. I think it's more accurate that she just knows more about magic, and that's why she's more powerful. Because again, she has her trapped in that room, and she's like, "Yeah, I got this shit on the walls that makes you unable to use your powers in here."
Yeah, which also says Wanda had her powers.
Yeah.
Before the Infinity Stone, she was a witch. She was born a witch.
Oh, she was born a witch, but the Infinity Stone enhanced her powers and made her see a super cool Scarlet Witch version of herself.
And made her the Scarlet Witch.
The Scarlet Witch.
Which I think is funny. Drop. I was thinking, like, they said it like, oh my god, they've never called her Scarlet Witch this entire fucking time.
Yeah.
It wasn't her code name.
She was only referred to Scarlet Witch in the end credits of the movies. So, like, technically she was never called that on screen.
Yeah.
I think you could arguably say that about the Falcon, too.
Yeah. Actually, no, I think he calls himself the Falcon. I don't know. Who cares?
I don't think it's been said on screen before. I could be wrong. Quicksilver wasn't said on screen either. But
yeah, that one.
But, yeah. So I am still sticking by that, the Mephisto thing. I will die on this hill. But they might, to get around the devil stuff, just be like using Dormammu in place of Mephisto.
Yeah.
That could be what they're doing. Because like of the Dark Dimension stuff, because purple. But I don't know, man. She has like a fucking goat head on her wall. Like that's some devil shit. Like
yeah.
I want the devil. Give me the devil.
Yeah.
But yeah, we learned she used magic to make sure that bomb didn't explode.
Yeah, that's the only reason why they survived.
Yeah.
What is weird is
Agatha says she needs therapy, which is absolutely accurate.
Do you think so? If she got her powers enhanced by the Infinity Stone,
yeah.
Do you think that means that Pietro didn't get his powers by touching the stone? He got them from Wanda.
Yeah, I think because Wanda and Vision are kind of together because they both share that experience with the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
Probably partially. And I think what could have happened is because the Mind Stone touched Wanda first, it could have been that Wanda, either on purpose or accidentally, could have given Pietro that power so that he would survive his experience with the Mind Stone. Because remember, they were like, everybody else died.
Yeah.
Right. Or it could be that, like, you know, they both have an X gene, and her X gene was like witch powers, and his X gene was speed powers.
Yeah, I think this is more mutant. No, more mutants.
No, more mutants.
It's happening. It's got to happen.
I don't think that's happening next ep. I think.
Oh no! I think that's how they're going to bring mutants into the series because they're
Doctor Strange too.
Yeah, like I think Wanda is the catalyst for creating mutants, but like using the power of the Infinity Stone, has granted her the ability to create things because she has the power of chaos, as she was told.
Chaos magic.
So she will probably be like, or they could do that shit where it's like the meta gene from DC.
Mm-hmm.
That the whole fucking focus of like the previous 2 seasons of Young Justice, where it's like if you're a human, you have this gene inside of you, and only humans have it. That's why the Earth is special in that universe, because you have the capacity.
I'm pretty sure that's just a ripoff of X-Men.
Yeah, I'm sure.
By the way, yeah.
But like the mutant gene, it would naturally occur.
Yeah.
Except this one, I think Wanda's gonna kick it off somehow.
No, I think the mutant gene occurs, and maybe something Wanda does makes people mutants. But I would also kind of rather have them already have been there, or like come from a universe where they already have been there, and there's like a merging. Just because, like, I don't know, like I want there to be like that Xavier's school is established. I don't want to have to see like an origin for all that, or like a version where like if we do get a new Wolverine, you know, where we have to go through all the fucking boring shit all over again, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'd rather just have like Nightcrawler walk out of a thing and be like, "Yes, I'm Nightcrawler."
We have existed. We just didn't feel like showing up for the whole time. And also, none of us have ever been abducted by an enemy and made into an enemy, except for those two.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, that's what I think, like, I would maybe rather have.
Make, like, Xavier's School of Mutants, like, a thing that was a little more, like, organized instead of just being, like, one guy, like, hey, bring us your fucked up kids. It would be like, hey, we're coming for your fucked up kids.
Yeah, like have it
forcefully abducting children to keep them safe or some shit.
Have it be where they've been existing, like, under wraps, you know, and I think that would work.
Yeah.
You could even have it where, like, Xavier has been casting, like, a forgetting thing where when people who aren't mutants come in.
Yeah,
right?
but then it would be like, why is, like, does that mean they were only existing in places where it was, like, they were accessible? Because that means no civilians in Wakanda could have ever been a mutant. Because Wakanda would have known about mutants then, at least.
Well, who knows, who says they haven't? We've only been there twice.
You're right. Maybe it's a state secret. Maybe it's something that T'Challa doesn't even know about. It was something his dad put in.
Yeah. Right. Like,
it's possible.
Who says they don't introduce, like, Storm as having been a Wakandan in this universe?
They're either going to show up because of something that happened, because of something Wanda does, or that they were always there.
Yeah, something like that.
Now
we have what else did we see? Oh,
the
scene between Wanda and Vision was so cute.
You know how that bullshit scene, that garbage in X-Men Apocalypse, where, like, Apocalypse can just make you more powerful as a mutant?
Yeah.
What if Wanda just does that? Like, everyone has these minor mutations, but then she's just like, no, boom, now you can be a mutant. Like, she finds Magneto and goes, like, this universe's version of Magneto, and she's like, now you can lift metal. Before, you could only just feel its presence.
And also, you're my dad.
Yeah, my real dad. That man in the flashback wasn't my dad.
Or whatever, like, I was adopted.
Yeah. My mother was a whore.
Damn, or no, they were twins.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
So yeah, go on with what you were about to say.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, the Vision and Wanda scene where, like, he tries to
understand, like, comedy.
Super sweet.
Is it funny because that man has been gravely injured and just like,
no, it's not that kind of show.
It's not that kind of show, and then, like, a scene later when, like, this guy's, like, fucking covered in, like, fire extinguisher, he's like, ha, that's funny.
It's so good. And then he drops a really cool line.
It was really cute, and I like that well, okay, here's the question.
Yeah.
In the flashback sequences before, or, like, the camera stuff, where Wanda forcibly comes in and takes the body, did that actually happen, or did the scene we see where she, like, just says, like, kind of lets it go and then goes to New Jersey and then sees, like, the thing that Vision had a house for them that they were going to live in after everything, and then her mental break caused her to recreate the Vision in front of her, because now we know that the Vision inside the reality is a completely new Vision.
Yeah. So that's why when he left, he didn't turn into a dead body. He started, like, disappearing.
Falling apart. Yeah.
Yeah. Because she didn't take the body. In the footage we saw, in the security footage, we saw her force open that door, and then we saw her break that glass and float down and stand there. And then Hayward's like, she stole the Vision's body. But now we know that's a lie, because
Hayward is a bitch.
I texted George, and I was like, the worst motherfucker in the MCU, with a picture of Hayward. Because he truly is. And then he was like, no spoilers. And I was like, okay.
Also, the US government has no claim over Vision's body.
Yeah.
Shield, sword, nothing. Vision was... No. Even if you wanted to say that Vision was someone's property, he is Tony Stark's property, which therefore would make him Pepper Potts' property.
Yeah. Well, Scarlet Witch describes herself as the next of kin.
Yeah, because Scarlet Witch considers him to be an existence, a real person. But if we are going off of the basis that it is a human, it is an object, which is what Hayward is saying, it is not the U.S. government, it is a private citizen.
Yeah, but that private citizen's dead.
But then next of kin to own it would be Pepper.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying Hayward's a villain. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. It's just another thing of the MCU being like the U.S. government overstepping its bounds.
Yeah. It's classic MCU shit.
Government good, except for this guy.
Yeah. Government bad, military good.
Yeah. Except this guy is military. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Hayward's a classic piece of shit character.
Classic old white man shows up and just fucks up everything for their own agenda.
Did you notice the detail that when he introduced himself to Monica, not introduced, but when he met Monica for the first time, he called himself
acting director.
But when he talked to Scarlet Witch,
he said director.
He said director. Yeah.
Yeah. I did notice that. I'm like, motherfucker, I thought you said you were acting.
What a bitch. Am I right?
He's emotionally manipulating people. He doesn't, in reality, he's like, I do not care about the fact that Monica Rambeau, what's her real name? Mm-hmm. Michelle. Her mother.
Oh,
Maria Rambeau. I don't care that she's dead. I have willingly taken her spot, but I'm going to act like I'm reluctantly doing it because someone needed to fill the shoes.
Yeah.
When it's more like, I could fucking imagine, at this point, I could imagine this man walking into her, like, cancer-ridden bed and pulling the plug. Like,
yeah, like, this guy, he's obviously motivated by control, right?
Yeah.
He wants Vision. He wants to possess him so he can control him. And he can't control Monica, and he can't control Wanda.
Yeah.
And that's what his whole shtick is. And he's a fucker.
The Vision... Actually, well... I just had... The first I had during the scene with the fucking Infinity Stone, when...
When she walks into the room, shadow of the cool thing, or when she walks into the room, yeah.
When she walks in the room, I was like, "Man, you look like shit right now." I don't know, like that's such a like.
It's how she looks at the end of the Winter Soldier. They like recreated the entire look.
She just looks. It just like, girl, you look disheveled.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's also probably in like voluntary captivity. So I like the flashback part, or like the part when they're like looking at it from the perspective of them. It's like, oh, this blinding light bullshit never happened from their perspective. Is like, she's standing there, she's down.
Yeah. Like it just cuts, much like the camera cut in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the sword flashback was fucked up. And then for some reason, Wanda Maximoff drives a 2011 Buick. Even though she's an Avenger.
I really enjoyed the fact that she drove there.
It was such a weird thing. Like, of course, first of all, it's red, but
yeah,
I'm like, damn, Tony Stark gets to drive a fucking Audi, and you're driving a fucking Buick, and it's not even like a new Buick; it's like an old Buick.
I honestly feel like she just took that car, like that was someone else's car. She's just like, it's mine now.
And then
how did she turn it on? Magic.
Yeah, fair enough. She found the letter was on the seat, and I guess she opened it for the first time.
Yeah.
Potentially, maybe we're gonna learn that letter came from some other thing.
And that letter was Vision saying he bought a property.
We bought a deed to some land to grow old.
Build
together.
A house. Yeah. Well, one of you's gonna grow old.
Yeah. Well, Vision would probably just be like, "I'm gonna live with you until you die, and then I'll shut myself off."
Yeah, or like maybe he would like reset his consciousness so it would be a totally different person.
That'd be weird.
Like a self-death sort of thing where he's like, technically, I am dead. My consciousness is no longer the same. I am a different person, and I'm leaving a note for the next version of me that you are not me. We are different. Don't try and live up to what I've done or some bullshit. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like super sad. So she drives to Westview and she sees a town that's like been either devastated by the snap or devastated by like being in the Rust Belt. Could be either.
Yeah, that's just New Jersey. So she uses her power. She freaks out, does a big explosion, and
there's a big crying explosion like in Age of Ultron.
Makes a big new reality where she reassembles a new Vision.
She invents this Vision.
Yeah, which this Vision.
Yeah.
I do this a lot because this topic I love it. That is not Vision. That is her version of Vision. He doesn't have the memories. He doesn't have the life experience. Even if he ends up being the Vision at the end of the show, like he takes, because there's the new Vision body in the post credits. That Vision is probably evil. They're probably going to do something where they fight, and our Vision in this show will possess the body, so he now has a physical body again. But still, that is not Vision. Vision died. But this is a different man who has the other one's memories. If you make a clone of someone and you kill the original, that person is a clone. That is not the original person.
Let me refute something. Let me just...
Yeah.
So when she does her magic, the magic that creates Vision is yellow, the color of the Mind Stone, not red, the color of Scarlet Witch's magic. Scarlet Witch's magic came from her experience with the Mind Stone. The Mind Stone is Vision. The Mind Stone has a personality. It is a sentient life, and the Mind Stone is Vision. That Vision doesn't follow her whims in the hex. He has sapience and is capable of
sentience.
Sentience, sorry.
Yeah.
He has sentience and is like capable of original thought and is capable of going against her. So that is Vision. Effectively, that is Vision with amnesia because he doesn't remember before the hex, right? But Darcy filled him in on his life.
This is like just I don't know what kind of argument this is, but it is like there's the whole like the second version series of Battle Angel Alita. His whole idea is if you copy a brain onto a memory chip and then replace the brain with that memory chip, are you the same human being? If you just replace one aspect of your core buildup of your body.
Here's my question, Ian.
Yeah. What's your question?
It might matter to you, but does it matter to anybody else if you're the same person with the same personality and same
It probably doesn't. It doesn't. Also, it wouldn't matter to me if it was like, oh...
Because you're dead. You're dead and you can't do it.
I'm dead, yeah. But also, it's from this hypothetical, from Chris O'Neill, Oni and G. If you had a tiny clone of Hitler, would you torture it? But then his buddies on the show, like Matt Watson and two other guys, were just like, no, because that's not... He didn't do anything. That's not Hitler. It's a clone of Hitler.
Yeah.
And it's like, I really
has
like
his
those
memories and personality made.
But then it's like, but he still didn't do it. He has the memories. He thinks he did it, but he physically has not done it.
That's good enough for me. But
it's an argument on like where's your that's like
the teleporter, the like Star Trek teleporter paradox.
Was that Star Trek? I thought that was just like a small science fiction story a guy wrote.
It's about how from Star Trek. It is a thing about Star Trek.
Yeah, where it's that you're not being teleported, you're being cloned, and the old version is disintegrated. So are you the same person?
It's like not necessarily that it's a clone, but it's like because the way the teleporter works is that it takes all your matter out and then warps and then reforms your matter somewhere else. Is that still you? Do you live, or is that a different person?
In the short story about the teleporter, in the one that I thought you were talking about, it's a cloning machine that clones you and sends a new version of you over there and then disintegrates the original material. And the person asks, but what happens if you both exist? And the guy was like, you can't both exist. One of you has to die. Or no, one of you has to cease to exist. And she's like, but isn't that killing a person? You're not... the person coming out at the other end is not the original person. It's a new person that has moved. Your memories cease and the others begin, but they thought you were back there. But technically, if the other person isn't deleted, there's just two of you.
Yeah, from your point of view, you've died, but to everybody else, you're still alive.
Yeah, if I got teleported like that, I am dead, but there is a conscious version of me on the other side of the world who's like, oh, I just got teleported.
Yeah. Not,
I was just freshly born.
Yeah. That's scary from my POV thing, but from an everybody else's POV thing, it's not scary.
So Vision's gonna fight Vision.
Just like getting down to it, she learns she's the Scarlet Witch, which is cool.
Yeah, it was a good stinger. And then we got 5 seconds of credits, and now flip on the switch. Frankenstein Vision's alive.
We got White Vision, baby. West Coast
Yeah,
Avengers.
He is Vision. His
Quest.
eyes are like black and blue, and the stone in it, the place where the stone would be, is now like a blue. Like he is white.
Somebody said it
blue.
was an arc reactor.
That would be cool.
Like somebody online was like, "It's an arc reactor," and I'm like, "Oh, maybe."
Yeah. So this Vision is going to be like, oh, I'm Vision, but I'm evil. I've been my mind has somehow been fucked with the U.S. government, despite the fact that we have established that the U.S. government is incompetent and not as good as Tony Stark thousands of times.
Well, that's because they basically had all their shit already.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we used the chaos magic to bring them back. The Vision Quest storyline from the comics is what White Vision comes from, which is a guy. What's his fucking name? Whatever. Some villain kind of disassembles Vision, putting him back together. But he's like basically killed doing this, and so when he does come back, well, first he comes back like a little bit evil, but then he comes back as like a talking person, but he's incapable of emotion and has no personality.
Yeah.
Right? Which is pretty terrible for his wife to have to deal with, because A, he's like, I'm not your husband because, I don't know you. But then B, also like, I don't feel any emotions.
I think that they're just like, Vision's gonna be back to life. They're gonna fucking
Wanda's. I think they'll have like the ghost of this. We'll have like Vision's soul and Vision's body are going to have to recombine.
But it's gonna be like a battle for it to happen.
It's gonna be a fight.
Yeah.
My question is, who do you think lives out of this?
Jamie will.
Oh yeah. No, but what I mean is, does Wanda get to keep her kids, or are they gone?
I think they are gone. I think there are manifestations and cannot exist unless Wanda is nearby, because she has created them quite literally.
So
like
I think she's going to lose the kids, but then we'll have if we do a Young Avengers show, we'll have their souls like wound up like being in two random people.
Unless their kids are actually like two children that she has abducted, like maybe they were two orphans in the local orphanage, and that she has imprinted some of her DNA to give them, to make them Wiccan, and the other one named
Speed.
Wow, that's lame. I think either these are not her children that she has given powers to, or she has actually fully created another life. I
think she created them, because like the growing up thing that they did.
You're right. That would be, unless she just kept swapping kids.
But the thing I think is it'll be like the comics, because they're clearly trying to, by like establishing all these different characters that we're seeing, right? Like, we know America Chavez is going to show up in one of these movies. We know Ms. Marvel's getting her show, right? Hulkling might show up in Secret Invasion.
Monica Rambeau's got her powers.
Kate Bishop. No, I'm specifically talking about like the Young Avengers, right? Which is what Wiccan and Speed do their thing in. So like, I think what they're gonna do is have Wiccan and Speed die, but then like they reincarnate into the real world to be Young Avengers, and then they're like teens, so that they can be around the same age as Ms. Marvel and the other characters.
Yeah. I'm just, I'll like to see where it goes. If I'm right about anything, then I'll do a big old Poggerino. But
I was also going to say, do you think Vision survives? Do you think she gets that happy ending? Or does Vision and White Vision fight and they both die?
I think Vision will survive, but he will come out with like this reluctance to trust Wanda because she has done something villainous that he disagrees with.
I don't know. He seemed back on her side when Darcy explained everything to him.
I think he just wants to help her, but I think there will be like some sort of distrust that will put her in a position.
Maybe they'll get divorced. Maybe they'll get divorced.
I think there's going to be like a breakup, like not a full divorce, but just like I need time alone or whatever, so Vision can like figure out who he is again.
Yeah. That might be a thing. Yeah. Maybe he gets divorced and starts his own robot family, and we do the Tom King Vision book.
I just think he's too human to do something like that.
Yeah.
Is like doing something like that is like Red Tornado in fucking DC, where he's like fully robotic and created other versions of himself because he wanted to understand what a family is.
Mm-hmm.
But like Vision is very human. He knows what he's doing. He knows what's right and wrong. He understands how humanity works.
Right. Vision knows what a family is because he was with Wanda in the comics. He creates his second family because he wants company. He's like, in his heart, Vision wants to be a person.
I just think Vision would he has a relationship with other Avengers. It's not just Wanda. He would go back and like hang out, or he'd just go fucking be like, fucking Captain America's old now. I'm just gonna go hang out with my buddy Steve before he kicks the bucket. Just hang out with that dude.
Yeah.
I just think he's not as isolated as he is in that story.
In the comics. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming. I haven't read it.
You should read it. It's really good.
How long is it?
12 issues.
How many pages is that?
Do you want me to get up and run and go check?
Can you just estimate?
I don't know, a couple hundred.
Okay, then
like
yeah,
200 or 300 pages.
Right? Yeah, I could probably do that then.
Yeah.
Well, you have it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just borrow it from you sometime then.
Hell yeah.
Could I actually start reading things again?
Dude, that comic.
I bought good. But
you're gonna be like, wow, what the fuck? This is so fucked up.
And like last time I was at like fucking Indigo, I bought like a bunch of manga, and I bought some that I haven't read yet because they looked cool, and I just still haven't read them. Just sitting in my room, and I'm like, I should read those sometime.
Promised Neverland?
No, it's too like unknown. Give me a second.
I know lots of unknown shit, dude. I'm a fucking hipster smart boy.
They were sitting on top of the rest of them. So I got The Golden Sheep by Kaori Ozaki.
Okay.
And it's more like slice of life about like kids.
Okay.
Like I think they're trying to make a band. And then this one, because this fucking art just popped out at me.
Oh wow.
It's Levius or something, and it looks like it's some robot fighting shit.
That's cool.
Yeah, like look at that. This art looks I like flipped through it in the store and like this art looks cool.
Sick.
Yeah, so I gotta read that shit. Yeah, so fucking WandaVision this week.
It's really good.
Great episode.
Next week.
Great episode, but not a lot happened. Well, a lot happened, but also it felt like not a lot happened.
Yeah, not a lot has changed since the status quo of the last episode. However,
a lot has been explained.
We know a lot more info.
We know how this world is shaped right now.
And next week we're gonna get ready for the big battle. There's still some questions up in the air. Who/what was Quicksilver, Pietro, and is he good?
Oh, I think she just said that was a guy. I think that was this episode where.
No, she's like she mentioned she was controlling him, that he was her eyes and ears.
But then at the end, Monica Rambeau saw him and was like, and he was talking to her, and he didn't look like he was under her control. So this is a separate man.
Yeah,
this is a man who is being.
This is a separate man but he's being controlled. So is he a good guy?
That's also interesting. Does this man get to leave the universe, this reality, with Quicksilver's power?
Yeah, and /or who is he?
Yeah.
Right. So that's a question.
Ooh. Yeah. If they do the alternate reality thing and they pull the mutants from the bad X-Men universe into the MCU, and they were like, oh, there he is. He's the Quicksilver from that version. He doesn't have a Scarlet Witch, so it's like they're siblings now, or like whatever. In like a weird way, they're genetically similar. Yeah. And they just be like, oh, he's Quicksilver. He gets to hang out. We get the better Quicksilver here now.
Which is funny because that character's personality and like who he is as a character, and even his design, is like more of an adaptation of Speed than of Quicksilver from the comics.
Yeah.
He's like literally, if you compare it, he's like actively,
and also
just like Speed.
Speed and Wiccan would be American. Are they American kids in the comics?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then his father might not be Magneto. Oh well, they said that his father was.
His dad's Magneto.
So, but Also, the age thing, actually, it would still make sense because I'm just saying, like, what if it's a universe where Magneto had Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and then they went out and had kids, and this guy is actually Speed, but he has just become Quicksilver because, like, when they showed his sister in like X-Men Days of Future Past,
he had a younger sister.
He had a younger sister, but they are
but
twins.
He also
so what if he
had an
yeah,
he also had an older sister that was off screen that
I'm just saying it's possible. I'm just saying it could be possible that he is the child of Speed. He is the child of Speed or Wiccan. Instead of,
I mean that he's the child of Wanda.
No. I'm saying that Wanda is not his sister. Wanda has had kids, and their kids grew up, and then they had kids. So he's like, Wanda would be his grandma. I don't know. I'm just fucking throwing shit out there now.
No, it's not unreasonable. Okay, he's he's like an older teenager in the 60s, correct?
70s.
70s.
Yeah.
Okay. He's an older teenager in the 70s, and Magneto was like an adult man in his 30s in the 60s, which means he could have gotten someone pregnant in the 50s with that, or 50s or 60s, then they could have been Quicksilver. That's totally reasonable.
Yay. I thought the math didn't add up, but hooray.
No, the thing that doesn't add up is how they all stay the same age, even though decades pass in between the movies.
Yes. It's
Dark
like
Phoenix,
the 90s.
Dark Phoenix takes place in 1992.
Yeah, Quicksilver should be like 50 years old in that time, but he's like, no, I'm 27. Yeah, they did that shit wrong. Especially since, like, don't they go to see Star Wars in,
they see
Apocalypse?
Star Wars. So in Age of Apocalypse, they make a joke because they go to see Return of the Jedi in the 80s.
Yeah.
And they go make a joke about how the third one's never as good.
And then they made the worst of that franchise.
No.
Well, Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix, the fourth.
Yeah. At the time, it was the worst.
Yeah, at the time, Age of Apocalypse was the worst. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't the worst of all of them, but it was like the worst of those three.
Yeah. What? It's wild.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I've said it before and I'll say it again. WandaVision's great. I think this episode is kind of I think will go down as like the show overall, but specifically this episode as like top 5 most emotionally resonant story arcs in the MCU.
Yeah.
Number 1 is the Yondu stuff. It's like actively the most resonant. Like, because it's not there to make us sad, it's there to make the characters sad, and that makes us even more sad.
Yeah, let's wrap this up because I am actually fucking hungry.
Yeah, so we'll wrap this up. We'll eat some food, and then we'll come back to record the next thing. I mean, cut that out, me. That's a stupid thing to say. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. As always, you can find these podcasts and more content on youtube.com/N8SComedy. You can follow me at The Media Hole on Twitter, at The Media Hole on TikTok, twitch.tv/The Media Hole, and www.whenyourballs.get-stuck-to-your-leg.tumblr.com. If you want to follow... Okay. You didn't say your thing.
Yeah, no, keep going.
All right, if you want to follow Ian, you can follow him on pretty much everything at StrugglesV. He's recently come under fire online because he keeps saying that he doesn't want Superman to be black.
You know what? Well, a long time ago, I forgot to bring this up when we were actually talking about that. I saw this the guy on TikTok who he was talking about the concept of what if Superman was black and having to grow up in the like universe where racism does exist, and this man still becoming the Clark Kent we know and love, and
it's like
being
a huge statement.
Of like him being black, of being raised black in America in like the early 90s and like into the 2000s, and seeing all the injustices that still go on, and him still deciding that humanity, all of humanity, including bad white people, are worth saving.
Yeah, it's powerful.
That would be more powerful. I just think there's a thing. The guy I argue with this shit a lot at work about is like making it Superman is a big statement, but also will just bring out so much racism that it might be better if that was a different character, where it wasn't Clark Kent, it was another Kryptonian that came to Earth.
Yeah, but that's the coward's move.
But also, it doesn't fucking matter. It really shouldn't matter because it's like if you can tell a good story, that's all you need. But
yeah, it's literally a movie. Like I do agree with that when it's like people try to do their like what if this but edgy. I'm like I've said it. I don't think I've said it before on the podcast, but I've said it to other people. If the boys was literally about the Justice League, it'd be fucking terrible.
It would be Zack Snyder.
It would be stupid.
Zack Snyder makes these fucking movies.
Yeah, because if the boys was like the Justice League is evil and all these people have to kill them, that's fucked. And I think most people would not be into it. But because it's about like fake Justice League where it's pretty much still all the same characters but they're different, it works and people love it because suggesting something can be better than doing it. But also, doing a Superman story with a Black Superman is powerful because it's Superman. Right, it matters more because it's the real thing and not like a side thing.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll catch you next time. Tune in on Wednesday for our Yakuza 7 spoiler cast. Peace.
Bye.